with Robert Reese. Come and get them hot facts with Robert Reese. Come and get them hot facts with Robert Reese. Come and get them hot facts with Robert Reese. Come and get them hot facts with Robert Reese. Come and get them hot facts with Robert Reese. Hot facts. Come and get them hot facts. Get them hot facts with Robert Reese. Come and get them hot facts. Come and get them hot facts. Come and get them hot facts with Robert Reese. Hot facts. Robert Reese. Hot facts. Hot facts. Robert Reese. Hot facts. Gig economy. Robert Reese. News channel. The gig economy. News channel. Hot facts with Robert Reese. Hot facts with Robert Reese. Hot facts, hot facts, hot facts. 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 Hey, with Robert Reese. Come and get them hot facts. Hot facts. Hot facts. Robert Reese. Gig economy. News channel. Hot facts with Robert Reese. Sit back, relax, and listen. Come on. Get these hot facts. K Reese 007.
What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? Let me go ahead and get in view. Woo-wee. Let's let it do what it do. I was supposed to start this a little bit earlier, but had to do Jack in the Box order and then just gave another Target order $12 for a little bit of time. I want to thank Host Smash for being first in here like he normally does, people. So check this out. We got a great show today. You do see the title. Calling drivers Karens. That's what I'm doing. I'm calling drivers Karens. Are delivery drivers causing problems because they're acting like delivery Karens? We will get to the bottom of this, people. We got a great show. Special guest today, George, Hulk Smash. Call him whatever you want. Special guest today. He will be on. We will be speaking about this. We'll be showing some clips and letting you guys hear some stuff about what's going on out there. I do want to say that the message that has been going out over the past, well, we've been doing it. I've been doing it for 2 years, but as how DoorDash and the Gigs apps are changing, the things that we have been saying are now more relevant, and people are not like saying, well, are they lying or are they making it up? Now we know that it's true. It's now we can actually bring about and talk about all of the things that are going on with these delivery drivers, things that we need to talk about. So I know the DoorDash revolution, he's been tapping in and breaking some things down. I know other drivers have been doing it also. Myself, truly, we want to welcome TFT, my deputy. Want to welcome TFT to the realm of creating content. Okay, let me go ahead and pull Hulk Smash up. I want to be able to say, welcome TFT to the realm of creating content, because now instead of just seeing him on other channels or panels and just getting up there, you will be you'll get a chance to see TFT in action. And I myself, okay, I myself am so glad that TFT has now decided to take the leap and start putting content up. He figured out how he wants to do it, so we have another avenue there. Go ahead, check out TFT. Check out his message there. We all know that my wife does it like me. Well, we do it very similar. We have different strategies on certain things also. But yours truly right here, George Hope Smash, is one of the delivery drivers that, what he does is he supports everyone, and the messages and the things that he does put out there are things that you should be paying attention to, because he does a great job. Now, I know there's many more out there, delivery drivers. If I don't say your name, so sorry. It's not a slight on you or who you are. There's no slight, but where there's one, there's 10. Where there's 10, there's 100. And as long as we are moving together, that's the only thing that matters right there. So that is what we are trying to do. And for those of you who are brand new and don't know, my name is HotFacts with Robert Reese. I am the owner and everything with HotFacts. I am the official news channel of the gig economy. We've been in this space for 2 years. We have grown pretty fast, and we will continue to grow because of our positive message that we have out there. Now, you will get some Def Comedy Jam. You will get some of that if the comment or the person is deserving of that. That is what you will get. I will take it there with you. So you will get some of that stuff. You will get interviews. You will get insights and videos that highlights other drivers, and then you'll get the Hollywood gig news as well when you're dealing with the gig world. So today I want to welcome George Hope Smash to the channel. Everyone give him a round of applause out there. Give him a round of applause. This is someone that I've been able to interact with for quite some time now, and it got to the point to where the interactions have to be a whole lot more because the man does a great job, and the support that he does give everyone. We figured out that there's much more in common than what we have. So I'm gonna go ahead and give him a round of applause here. Go ahead and pull this up real quick. Go ahead and give George a round of applause because, yeah. Go ahead and gave a little bit of a round of applause there. It went up there. You heard that. So come on, car. What you doing? Oh, they're waiting for that car to get on out. Welcome to the show. How you feel today, man? How you feel?
I feel pretty good. How you feeling? You frozen?
Man.
You're frozen.
You got me?
I feel pretty good. How you feeling?
I'm all right, man. The delivery game is changing. So every day is a change. So as long as you're making the right choices in those changing, you go be all right. You go be all right. So it's all right. The weather's not bad. We can actually drive without seeing cars slide and slip. So that's a plus.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Yeah, I just came upon the you had a video a couple of days ago, I think it's Thursday. You did a reaction video on content creator, no giggity, no clout. And in that video, I have a story behind that video that inspired me to come to you to do this video right here. When I had my mom, I took my mom to the doctor for her appointment. And when we got there and stuff, we was waiting in the waiting room after we did all the paperwork. I came across the video. So I was watching it. So as I was watching it, there was another lady who sat on the other side of me on the right-hand side. My mom was on the left-hand side. So as I was watching it, no giggity, no clout. You was doing a reaction to his video. And his question that really stood out was, does customers feel that they don't have to tip? Why do customers feel that they don't have to tip? and stuff like that. He went into his little spiel, and I'm not going to really show the video. I'll show it on the screen, so then anybody want to see it, they can see it, and then go back there and go. But I'm just going to do the short form right there. And then you had your reaction on that. You told them what you do, about how you tip and things like that, and stuff like that. But my thing is I did a little homework, because what happened was the lady on the right hand side, she decided to respond to the video, and this is what she said on the video. She said that. I'll wait till you come.
You all good?
All right, you're back. Yeah,
you're all good.
You was spinning.
Switch to the Wi-Fi.
Oh,
hold up, wait.
So
wait. Go ahead, do what you gotta do. Go ahead.
All right, I'm moving. Okay, so what it was is that lady was like, she was saying about how she don't like being told how much to tip and stuff and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how the tipping thing is. They have like 10%, 20, 15, whatever. You see them on the little papers that come when you go to the restaurants, and the little tablet things too, and on the apps. Well, she said, well, what I do is, I do a tip, and then when I get my food, I take the tip back. Now, there are apps out there that the customer takes the tip back. And then sometimes she says she'll put what she wants to put on there, but sometimes she just don't. My mom then responded too, and she said, well, I tip what I want to tip. I don't like people telling me what to tip. And that got me intrigued because of that video and that question. Well, there's a couple of answers right there to that question, that some people feel that they've been either forced or guilty or guilt tipping or pressure tipping is called, whichever two. So they just don't like that. I found out about it when I went to some research. But what I want to do with this video is I want to try to go to a little backstory on tipping. I know it's a story everybody's been talking about, but it's a backstory on tipping, where is the origin of tipping, when to tip, when to not to tip, because it kind of ties into a lot of stuff that's been going on, because we can understand what tipping is all about and the way for the customer side, as well as the merchants and us too as delivery drivers. We might be able to understand what's going on all our halves. Everybody could understand each other. So with this video, I want to just go through. I'm going to put it on the big screen there, and I have some articles that I want to share. I think 3 or 4 articles I want to share with you too, and then we could just discuss after that.
Yep.
So it's going to be kind of quick for that, and then we can discuss it after I show all of it, if you don't mind.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm going to switch the screen here. All right.
I'm going to put you on the solo.
All right. There you go. Stay here. This is higher. Okay. Can everybody see the screen?
Hold up. I'm going to put you on.
Everybody can see the screen?
Yep.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah, I see it right behind me. Yep.
See the screen, Robert?
Yeah, I see it. Thumbs up.
Okay, cool. First thing I'm gonna do is we're gonna talk about tipping. All right, what is tipping? Okay, we're gonna go through this and talk about tipping first. All right, I'm gonna read the definition of tipping. This is from the English version of tipping stuff, the Cambridge Business English Dictionary. What is tipping? The act of giving an amount of money to someone who has provided a service, especially in a hotel or restaurant. That's basically, in a nutshell, what they're saying there is, if you had a service and stuff, I wonder if you can see the screen. The things
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. All right. All right. So we understand that's what tipping is. Now, let me see here. Oops, sorry, wrong one. Okay. People asking, here's a question. People asking, is it okay to tip or not to tip? Okay. It says here, as a blanket rule, you don't need to tip anyone who earns a salary or performs a trade. That means you don't have to tip doctors, lawyers, teachers, plumbers, or cable technicians. Not only would it not be expected, it would be highly unorthodox and very awkward. All right. Now, another question is people thinking, as delivery drivers and stuff like that, people think it's mandatory to tip. Okay? Is it mandatory to tip? Mandatory
Can you read
tip
that
is
one?
Go ahead.
Read that part about how, just read that again about how it's not mandatory. Just read that again, just so people can hear that.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep, I got you.
Okay. Is it mandatory to tip? Mandatory tipping is considered an oxymoron, as tipping is by definition a voluntary act on the part of the customer. Okay, the customer could be, yourself. Even though you're a driver, you can still be a customer in some form of going someplace, getting a haircut. You could go get a tip there if you tip your barber for a haircut or something, or nails and stuff like that. Okay, so that's what that means. It's not mandatory to tip, so nobody you can't go to jail or anybody stuff like that. Just people just have a little bad taste in their mouth when people don't tip. Now that we got those two, definitions out of the way, I want to now go to my playlist here, and now I'm going to show. The first thing is the history of tipping, where the origin of tipping came from and how it came around to the United States of America. Before I start, I know you said it, but I just want to make sure everybody knows this is just for educational purposes only. So here we go. All right. Hold on, let me get the sound back.
I should have made, this is why you tip.
Okay.
I get paid $2.13 an hour as a bartender and a server. I should have made $150.81.
Can you crank it up a little bit?
Security, Medicare, and the income tax taken out. I was paid $9.
Is that better?
For 70 hours of work.
Okay.
Imagine if professors' income was determined on whether the students they were being taught. Imagine if doctors were paid based on whether the patients were happy with the diagnosis. It just doesn't happen in any other profession. And the reason it happens in this profession is a history of race and class and gender in our country. It was an extra or bonus that aristocrats or nobles gave to serfs or vassals, but always on top of a wage. When the idea came to the States in the 1850s, it was because of rich Americans traveling to Europe and coming back and trying to show off that they knew the rules of aristocratic Europe. At first, Americans rejected as a vestige of feudalism, said we are a democracy. But that idea changed right after emancipation of slavery, when the restaurant lobby wanted the right to hire newly freed slaves, not pay them anything at all, and have them live entirely on tips. So you went from $0 at emancipation to $2.13 an hour, which is the current federal minimum wage for tipped workers in the US. Actually, in most cases, workers who earn a sub-minimum wage get a paycheck that says zero. This is not a paycheck, because the wage is so low, it goes entirely to taxes, which means they are living, just as they did at emancipation, entirely off of their tips. In 1938, when everybody got the right to the minimum wage for the first time in the US as part of the New Deal, millions of Black workers actually were excluded. Farm workers who were mostly Black, domestic workers who were Black, and tipped restaurant workers who were mostly Black, mostly women, were left out. So they have lobbied very successfully for 81 years, since the New Deal was passed, that they should be allowed to not pay their own workers, that instead, because their workers get wages, they should get away with paying $0, $1, or $2 an hour. For some, not all, I think there is a relish in the power dynamic that customers have over these workers, that they are at their beck and call, that they have to put up with whatever they say or do, or however they touch them or treat them or talk to them, because they leave a tip.
I remember working in restaurants, and you would have someone say something extremely inappropriate to you, or you'd have someone touch you. And the thing is it would be the 28th of the month, the 29th of the month, and the first of the next month was rolling right around, and you had a rent check to pay. And so you are more likely to stand up for yourself and to reject sexual harassment on the 15th of the month, or maybe the 10th of the month, when you could pick up an extra shift to make up for telling that guy to go buzz off.
Workers in our industry struggle with 3 times the poverty rate of the rest of the US workforce, use food stamps at double the rate of the rest of the US workforce, meaning the women who put food on our tables can't afford to feed their own children. And a good third are parents, single mothers with children. And all of this economic precarity exacerbates that power dynamic that we talked about. Tips have been so decreased during the pandemic, and I think workers have kind of a light bulb or realization has dawned that this has never been a reliable source of income. Workers are finally in this country standing up and saying, it's just not worth it anymore, and leaving this industry. Listen to the National Restaurant Association, you would think there are no restaurants in these 7 states, that they've somehow, killed all jobs are lost, so no small businesses, when in fact these 7 states have higher restaurant industry sales, higher job growth in the restaurant industry, higher small business growth rates, and we have higher rates of tipping, because it turns out when you pay people better, they tip better. But most importantly, we see 1/2 the rate of sexual harassment in the restaurant industry, because it turns out when you pay women a full minimum wage with tips on top, they don't have to put up with as much from customers. They can reject harassment from customers because they can count on a wage from their boss. Even if you don't care about these workers, but you really want to be able to go back to your Sunday brunch with your friends, we have to change the way people are paid if we want to return to an industry in which workers have the ability to survive while working in restaurants.
All right. That's the first one there. That's the history of tipping. The second one is going to be. Okay, go ahead.
Hold on, wait. Let me go ahead and do this really quick. Let me exit the solo screen there. Now, what I want to go ahead and do is, a lot of people don't realize, what said there was that businesses, were saying, well, hey, since you guys are getting paid a tip and the average is like $2, that's what you're going to get paid. A lot of people don't realize that equals to base pay. I don't think they realize that same $2 is the same $2 base pay. And that's why she just said that if you know you're getting paid by your employer, you don't have to try to settle on the tip because you're already getting paid, because it's not something that is guaranteed. You see what I mean? All that was right there. All that was right there. Keep going, brother. Keep going.
Okay. And on a piggyback on him is, if you think about that with the restaurants, what are we doing? We're delivery drivers, right? We have a base pay.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, honey, that's my honey right there. She's the heart of my soul and everything. She's over there too. So, yeah, I'm sorry. It's a little loud, but they have to hear it. I'm sorry. It's a little. I'm trying to bring it down a little bit. I'll try to bring it down a little bit. I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry.
Hey, you ain't alone. You ain't alone, G.
Yeah, I have it so they could do that. I'm sorry. I'm trying to put it down a little bit. Sorry. But that's my wife there, she runs the house. See, she could tame whole smash any day. Everybody see it right there. Yeah. Okay. The second one, what we're doing is, when should I tip? Okay, there's the title right there. When should I tip?
When should I tip?
And the girl in the cartoon.
Starting with
All
my
right.
first job in high school. I started with my first
There
job
you
in
go.
high school. I spent years working tips, serving
Can you still hear it?
tables, and wiping cars. I knew the majority
Yeah.
of my pay
Okay.
would technically be an optional gratuity.
It's kind of weird.
They'll have to adjust their volume, but it's all good.
Optional.
Huh?
So why is it okay to choose how
What you say?
much your taxi driver makes that day?
Okay, no, I said they'll have to turn their volume up, so they'll have to get smart on their end. You know what I mean?
Customers
Okay.
Person watching.
Usually,
Yeah.
Right.
what's expected and acceptable varies by country, region, and industry type. Sometimes a tip is truly something a little extra, and other times it's how a worker pays their bills.
Here in the US, tipping a large amount is prevalent and expected, but is that the case around the globe? And how can you know when and how much you should tip when it's not completely obvious?
The word tip suggests a tiny bit, something extra. And in most countries outside North America, that's exactly what it is. Most common tipping etiquette across the globe is to leave a little extra change if you want to, though it's certainly not expected.
In China, a tip will often trigger a reaction of pleasant surprise. In European countries like Italy, Greece, and France, you're expected to round your bill up, a form of change. Receiving your bill in India, you'll likely see that gratuity is included, though you might tip up to 10% if not. And in Japan, if you want to let your sushi chef know you loved your meal, don't do it with a tip. You run the risk of seriously insulting them.
Here in the US, along with Mexico and Canada, a substantially larger tip is the primary form of compensation for hundreds of professions. By far, American tipping culture is the most expensive and pervasive out of any country in the world, with over 3 million American workers in professions that rely on tips. When I was a waiter, my hourly rate was a measly $2.13 an hour before tips. Then it hasn't changed in decades. How did this happen? Well, it can all be traced back to our country's complicated history, class, and race.
The original custom of tipping dates back to medieval times and is a remnant of the relationship between wealthy lords and their indentured servants. At the beginning, a tip was a tiny bit of extra money given to a serf for a job done especially well.
By the mid-19th century, the practice had largely died out as many workers and businesses refused tips because they were viewed as condescending or a form of bribery. Then something happened that brought tipping back in a big way.
To explain it, let's hear from Evelyn from the PBS digital series Say It Loud.
Yep, we're talking about slavery. While the 13th Amendment legally abolished it, that didn't mean millions of newly freed people instantly ascended into that deluxe apartment in the sky. Their options for employment were very limited. Those who didn't work on farms as sharecroppers entered into the service industry, becoming railroad porters, household servants, or waiters in restaurants. While most states frowned upon tipping, even making it illegal in some cases, when it came to restaurants, especially in the South, tipping was free labor was the economic backbone of the region. Why give it up now? By the late 1920s, those anti-tipping laws were overturned and restaurants stopped paying Black employees a wage, forcing them to supplement their income with tips. It was no longer a nice bonus for excellent service. It was the only way people got paid. And even though the fight for civil rights made steps to improve the lives of Black people post-Civil War, this particular practice stuck, extending to restaurant workers of all shades, even in the North, turning our uncomfortable legacy of forced servitude into an industry standard.
To this day, the custom of tipping still contributes to all sorts of social problems. Pieces by The Guardian, The New York Times, The Economist, and even Adam Ruins Everything show how tipping in the U.S. contributes to racial profiling, sexual harassment, and worker poverty.
Strong arguments are made that businesses would profit more and customers would be happier if tipping went the way of the horse and buggy. But don't pull a Mr. Pink and make a social statement by stiffing your waitress. This puts the blame and responsibility squarely on the victim and won't do anything but hurt your cause and make you look cheap. Love it or hate it, tips as wages are still a widely accepted norm in America.
You might think you're a generous tipper, or maybe you think tipping should always be optional and it's no biggie to stiff the staff if you were unhappy with something. There are actually standard rules when it comes to tipping. Turns out there are, and the Emily Post Institute offers an insight into one of the most etiquette norms in our society.
Let's start with some basics. Average to good service. Bars, hairdressers, cab drivers, and spas comes with an expectation of a 15 to 25% standard gratuity. A tip of 10% in America is generally reflective of bad service, and a tip of nothing really isn't acceptable for any reason. If you're that dissatisfied with a service, you should let the man know the reason ahead of time and your plan to leave a reduced tip.
From here, it can get complicated. What if you dine at a restaurant without a server, or that started appearing at neighborhood markets? Expected if you had a shuttle driver carry your luggage. Here are some important exceptions to standard tipping rules in the U.S.
Tipping 10% is acceptable at a buffet restaurant. Getting your food delivered to your home or work, 10 to 15%.
That's us, man. That's DoorDash.
Or other common service options, there is no obligation, though it's advised to tip occasionally if you're a regular or at least are provide something extra. A tip of $2 to $5 is expected from bellhops, valet drivers, a doorman, or a shuttle driver who helps you with your luggage. Or 10 to 20% for a rideshare service like Uber or Lyft.
There are even special circumstances when a tip may be more optional than it seems. Restaurant employees who handle takeout orders and bartenders at weddings tend to have a higher hourly wage or rely on tips much less or not at all.
Point of sales apps more and more frequently have a line for tipping, and even a suggested amount of 15 to 25%. This has led to a phenomenon of tip creep, where people have begun tipping for non-traditional services out of fear or guilt of being cheap. Sales apps like Square have defaulted to prompting us for tips everywhere, from ice cream parlors to farmers markets, and even on Girl Scout cookies.
If you're confused or worried about a tip prompt on one of these apps, you're not alone. I tend to give 10%, and I'm not sure what the etiquette is, but then I'll research it afterwards by checking the company's website or asking friends I know who work in the industry. And I know it might seem awkward, but you can always just ask the person helping you then and there. When I worked for tips, I would have preferred that to getting stiffed.
Most importantly, if an appropriate tip can bust budget, it's worth pausing to rethink your needs. Enjoying luxury services like dinners out, salons, and high-end massages, it's on you to factor in a gratuity for those who served you.
If you can afford these discretionary services, It's worth integrating regular tipping into your relationship with these service professionals. And now that you've watched this video, you can't claim you didn't know any better. And that's our 2 cents.
Thanks to Evelyn for contributing to this episode. Check out our show, Say It Loud, on YouTube. The link is in the description. Thanks to our patrons for keeping 2 cents financially healthy.
Click the link in the description if you would like to support us.
All right, now I got one more video here. This is only 4 minutes and 19 seconds.
Yep.
It's titled, it says right there, pressure tipping. That's what I was talking about with the 2 young ladies I was talking about 2 days ago. And that's something new. I never heard of it myself, but it's something new, and that's what intrigued me. Okay, let me start it.
To tip or not to tip,
There you
that's
go.
the question posed by TikTok star Aubrey Grace as she goes through awkward motions of being pressured to tip while ordering a coffee. When the cashier flips the iPad over, you stare at it, at least for the 4 options, 15%, 20%, 25%, or even 30%. You know you've been there. This happens all the time. This is the waiter or waitress stands over you, often looking at your tip selection, just sort of judging you, it feels like. It's like there's pressure. And frankly, what if the service stinks? What do? It doesn't stop there. You're pressured to tip when you have your groceries or lunch delivered, and when you use a rideshare app. Heck, you're even asked to tip if you go and you pick up your food and they just hand you the bag, and they want the tip too. For more on the etiquette behind navigating modern tipping, I want to bring in Diane Gottsman. She's the founder of the Protocol School of Texas and author of the book Modern Etiquette for a Better Life. It seems like we have the perfect person to ask this to, Diane. I've been wanting to ask you this all day because I really do get stressed out with the iPad tipping, because it's like you get a coffee and then the first option is 25%, and I always pick the 25% because I feel bad, but what are we supposed to do?
It's pressure tipping, and so we've all experienced it. And I think what we have to do is we have to be prepared. So you know it's going to happen. You know they're going to turn that iPad around, and be prepared to hit tip or no tip. Now, I don't encourage skipping a tip for most things, but when you are just being handed a prepackaged sandwich or a coffee that they poured right there, you can feel comfortable either customizing your tip or hitting no tip at all. And by the way, they too are consumers. They stand on the other side of that iPad very often. So really, the person at the counter help does know your angst.
Yeah, that's a good point. One thing I've done is I'll just have a couple bucks with me, and then I can do no tip, but I can immediately hand over $1. So at least I'll still know that I always do want to tip. But this is a really big question for me, Diane, that I struggle with. What about to go? Like you go and you pick up, you order, you call a restaurant, you call it, or you go to pick it up, it's at the bar, and they literally just hand you the bag. Should you tip then?
So if there's a tip jar, I see a tip jar on the screen. You can tip if you want to, not necessary. Same with the back to the tablet. Don't feel the pressure. But if they've gone above and beyond, if you have multiple bags, if you're feeding 6, 7, 10 people, you're going to want to leave a little something. So I think the bottom line is the more work they put into it, the more effort they put in, that's how you determine whether or not they're going to get a tip. Now, you don't skip a tip at a restaurant, even if it's bad service. And of course, you're sitting down. That's the hospitality industry where they're working for gratuity. They're not an hourly wage worker. You want to certainly leave something. If it's terrible service, talk to the general manager and let them know. But skipping a tip is really not appropriate.
Oh, I totally agree with you. I would never. I mean, even if the service is awful, like you said, it's just that's how they earn a living. We only have a few seconds left, but while I have you here, I want to ask you, since this is what you do you feel like etiquette has sort of devolved to a certain extent in our country just overall?
I feel that we want to do the right thing still, but I think that there are so many different questions that we don't know what to do, and then we freeze, much like this iPad tipping. Things are evolving and they're new. We used to say the standard tip for a restaurant, not table tip, not tablet tipping, was 15%. Now it's really 18 to 20%. So I think that we do our very best. We want to be generous when appropriate, but don't feel pressured to tip when it's not necessary as well. So you kind of have to read the room. If they're just handing you a muffin, I think you're going to be fine. But if you want to please do.
Yeah, I like your phrase, pressure tipping. Don't always fall for the pressure tipping. Dan Gottsman, thank you so much for staying up and coming on with us tonight.
All right. I hope y'all enjoyed that part.
Oh yeah. Now, let me go ahead. Now, she said something there that she said the restaurants, even if it's bad service or whatever, right? She said still go ahead and leave that tip. She said they're not working. She says they're working on strictly tips. Restaurant workers are still getting paid an hourly wage also. So she just tried to make that part seem like the people inside the restaurants and the waiters are getting paid only on tips, and that's not true. I wish you would have cleared that up. Now you should go to the manager and let them know the service is bad, long wait. You asked for this, they brought you that. You even told them, hey, my steak is bad, and you asked for a medium well, and they gave you all the way raw for the second time. Things like that happen. That's not the waiter or waitress fault. But what is the waiter and waitress fault that if there is an issue that you are having that particular restaurant, let's say if it came back bad the second time, chances are the waiter or the waitress, I know for a fact that the good ones will go and tell them, the cook, like, look, you did it again. You're messing up me, because they're complaining to me and I got to go ahead and tell you. So if it happens again, so that's when they said, at least give this much, but there is a give and take, and why they said, you don't have to tip if it's not there. Because things can happen where you said where it's actually, responsibility of the waitress or waiter. Now, even though they're bringing out food, it may be a large party. Let's say one person got their food messed up, but everybody else did. Still go ahead and chip them off, because, it was only one person out of the group. It wasn't everybody. You know what I mean? But if it's just your table, like you taking your wife out or you guys going to eat and they mess up like that, it's crazy. I went to a sushi restaurant and I took my wife and my daughter, and it took forever for us to get our food, right? And then they bring us our food, and the waiter went over everything with me. I explained why my daughter needs this, and this is what she wants to get. My daughter never got her food. I told my wife, let's just sit and wait until they bring it out. We sat there for like 15, 20 minutes. My daughter's food never came. So when I had to get their attention, he said, oh, I didn't know you wanted that. I said, you wrote it down on the paper and asked me questions about what I wanted. And I said, where's the paper at? The paper was right there. He ignored the paper, went back. So my daughter didn't eat. So we got our food to go. I didn't leave him a tip on that. They tried to say, sorry, next time you'll get a free California roll. No, my daughter was sitting there without the food. The other kids was watching, was eating and stuff. That experience, I left. I ain't been back since.
Yeah, we get good and bad experiences, as a customer, and that goes for us drivers too. On the other video where it was talking about when the tip and stuff, they went into that a little bit. They clarified it by saying that the reason why you should just do the restaurant still give a tip, but you could just tell them, like, hey, my service wasn't good, but I'm going to still give you a tip, but it's going to be a lesser tip. That's what they were saying on the other video.
Right.
The second one before that. So they clarified that, but the lady didn't. And they also said on the second video that you get a certain wage. They get a certain wage. Minimum wage was like $2.13 or whatever it was at the time, That's the same way as delivery drivers, we get a certain minimum wage. Base pay is real low. So we all counting on the tips. And what there was the suggestion is, these services, even the delivery driver services, which we are, if you didn't like the service, you still could get in touch with the driver, through the app and say, hey, I didn't like the service, blah, blah, blah. or get in touch with DoorDash, but don't take the tip completely away.
Right.
But you could diminish some of what you was gonna give. So if you was gonna give them $5, give them $1 or $2.
That's
Depends
what
on
I
how
do.
much you feel. So they would say still
I
give
do
a
the
little
process.
something.
I do that process there. I start them off with this much, and depending on how they follow all the instructions and everything, get it right, then I diminish. I'm not going to take it away, but I will diminish.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
And
I
that's
will
the same.
diminish so you know to cross those T's and dot those I's the next time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's what the video was saying. And a lot of times we as delivery drivers, we use these platforms and we do pressure tipping, and you probably don't know you're doing it. The reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of these
tip. Starbucks does the pressure tip every single time. They give you that.
But we also do it also by saying, hey, some gig tubers and stuff get content creators be saying, they should pay this much. They had different shows and stuff, articles and stuff. A delivery driver came to the door. They had to go get all the stuff that the parcels came to the door. They was like they went on the traffic and everything, and then it was like 10, 12 minutes, 12 minutes drive or whatever. And then when they got there, the person only gave them like a couple of bucks. So then the person came back and started harassing them and saying, hey, you should do this and you should do that. We do that and we put it on social media, and we also like making it like a pressure tipper. Try to tell, hey, we should get this much. We deserve this much. That's another form of pressure tipping. You probably don't know it, but it is, because you use these platforms like we on YouTube. That's a platform we're using. So when you're on YouTube and you saying that stuff, somebody else, like my wife that just popped through, and my mom, that incident with my mom, they see that on YouTube, and this driver who's a content creator or not a content creator could be like me, just a regular, viewer. And I'm saying, hey, I think we should deserve this much and blah, blah, blah. These customers that don't tip, they clowns and all that stuff, that's pressure tipping. You probably don't know what it is, but it is, because you call them names, you tell them they should do this and they should do that. You try to, some of them say a figure amount, just because you got this amount and this amount to drive, you actually are doing a form of pressure tip, making pressure on your customers or previous customers or future customers if they see these shows and stuff. So we got to watch what we say when we do that too. It's not this in the restaurants when you see that little tablet thing there and it tells you 10%, 20%, and all that stuff. Yeah, that's a form way too. But it's us verbally and showing on screen is a way of doing it, because that's what they say and that's what they're doing. They say these delivery drivers get mad because they didn't get a tip. So they throw the people food or kick the food or whatever, or call people clowns or whatever. You can't be doing that, man. That's why I wanted to do this thing, because you see, a lot of people try to understand what tipping is, and how it comes from and why people do it.
DoorDash is key for this though too. That's why they do the pressure thing also, because I guess they feel that the drivers are driving doing this, and they know these studies and things about what some people think, but these apps still also put this percentage, that percentage, and then that percentage, right? Tip this much. Now some of these people that are getting that message now are like, man, every time they come to this address, they mess up. It don't matter what delivery driver it is. So some of those customers are still feeling like the pressure. That's why they want to give the money in cash. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We also do it to each other too. We do that to each other. And one of the videos, I think it was the second video, it talked about different countries and how they do tipping and stuff. Some people are originated from those type of countries or have the origin in their background, and they don't believe in tipping because it's in their culture. You can't knock that person for that, because that's what their culture is like. So you got to try to understand the person, individual, try to get to understand why they do it. So that's another answer to no giggity, no clouts question about why customers don't feel that they don't need to tip. This video right here is telling a lot of answers to some of those questions. And hopefully some of the
in these other countries, though, you got to understand that, you know, I got the people in the UK and they, you know, the tip in there is rare. So in order to get them to tip you, your service has to be extraordinaire. You know what I mean?
Right.
Your service has to be all of that to change the mind of someone in another country. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. Yep.
You can't just go. Yep. You can't go there with the regular stuff and then think that's the juice you go get. Oh no, you know they only give extra if they're like if you knock them off their feet. That's it.
Yeah. I mean,
you gotta knock them off their feet.
I'm giving my
so that's not what they're used
flowers to. I'm giving my flowers to No Giggity No Clout for that question because it intrigued me. It had 2 people react to his question, and it made me do some research. So if he's listening, I'm giving him his flowers for that question. And I was trying to go and answer his question the best I can by doing research. Now, hopefully some of this today, if he sees it later on, he can actually see some of the answers maybe to his question that he asked in his video that you did a reaction to. And
now,
and
I
also
would like to say this though.
Go ahead, man.
I would like to say this though, based upon, you know, gig content creators or any content creator out there, when you're making a short like that in a community post or a comment, they can do it on video. Did I break up?
Yeah, you're.
All right, I'm in a little out here.
You moving now? I see you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you're a gig content creator and you're putting up questions and stuff like that, we don't have to make a comment to reply to your answer. We can do it on video form like this. Also, that's why when you said, you know, I'm trying to figure out, you know, an answer, you did that on a short. So I answered you on a short. You know, that's how, you know, we'll still go ahead and get the questions out and the answers.
But you know, I took away from this video that I learned a lot more about it, and I'm still looking into it more. The medieval times and stuff like that. I'm looking into that just for my own educational purposes. But it is interesting to know stuff, and you know, hopefully this is like this little scratch of the surface of it. But hopefully that we can kind of like get a little better understanding of, you know, tipping and all that stuff and personalities and stuff too, and what you say, what you do, and how people take it in, you know, how they react to how they take it in. Like I was saying earlier about the 2 young ladies that I had each side of me, you know, how they took that video and they commented on it right then and there. You know, they don't feel like they should tip what they want. They should be able to be told what to do. It's my money type deal, you know, and it's true. It is their money, you know. And they feel that, you know, they want to do what they want. They shouldn't feel obligated to a certain amount and things like that also. So
well, yeah, this is where some of the drivers that I see on the drivers that I do see on social media, when they start putting up content saying every customer should tip this much. And it's like, it's crazy that you would think that every customer should tip a certain amount. You can't think like that. You can't think like that at all.
Right.
And because if someone lives close and things like that, like Thunder did a thing, and the Instacart driver was letting them know that it was an easy shop. You're 2 miles away. He said with your tip is $17 for 2 miles. Thunder went and gave them an extra $5 on there. and gave it to him. The pro and the con with that is that Instacart shopper who just did that little bit of shopping, and he said he was in and out, it took no time. He may have conversations with other people that he's doing deliveries for and try to suggest that they do exactly what Thunder did. That's where we start to have an issue, because now that's where that that force tipping starts coming in, forcing you to do a certain amount. That's where that comes into play. I know Thunder was trying to get some information and all of that. He did that, and that was great info. But we also got to understand, it's a fine line in how competitive us as drivers are in certain areas. Now he's in Florida, where all those crazy drivers are that go try to get all the loot. He don't know if that driver is a driver that does some of those things, and he knows how to, get money out of people. Because remember, they said in the pandemic, they were like the tipping went down. It went down, but drivers holding people hostage made tipping go up in certain areas. You know what I mean? So you got to think about all that stuff. But as a delivery driver, it's a must. You got to go out and just do your job. Do your job. Do it like TFT says. Do it to the best of your ability every single time. If you do that and you don't receive a tip, don't get mad because you did exactly what you were supposed to do. When you receive the tip, just take that as, hey, they noticed what I was doing and they gave it to me. That's how it'll keep you as a driver a little bit more stable and happier in the brain. Okay, in the brain, to go ahead and get this stuff done. Because we can't be out there acting like Karens. That's why the title there, are delivery drivers, messing up the game, because the delivery driver is acting like an entitled Karen. And we can't have that go out all over the place, because it's going to mess up the whole flow for all of us. We all got to eat and work together.
Right. Yeah, because some people, because I had a customer, they came, I dropped it off at the door and everything. The customer came out and they was like, wow, you read all my instructions. I looked at you at the video camera, on the doorbell camera there. I looked at you. You put it there on the table. You didn't ring the bell. You took the picture and you went. So here's $2. She tipped on the app too, but I got an extra $2 out of her pocket just because I did what she said. She told me after the reason why she don't like nobody ringing the bells because she does work at home, and then she also has her kids, and then certain times a day that they have to sleep, so then she could do her work, and then that doorbell will wake them up because it makes the dogs bark, and when the dogs bark, it wakes up the kids. So that's why that she puts that in the notes. Do not ring the bell.
Right.
So, see, we have to look at the notes.
That, though, some of these people now. Now, some of these people, they say that I only have one issue. I got to get out of this area too. I got two. I got would have socialized and trained their dogs so their dogs don't do that also. Because chances are, as the delivery driver, if let's say the customer wants a meet at door, you just leave it at the door, don't ring the doorbell. Well, there's an issue now, because if you give us that, we still want to make sure you get the order, and the delivery driver may say, I don't care what they say, I'm going to still ring the doorbell. Because you changed up what your order is. I got to get out of this area. This thing is chopped in.
Now there are some
George, can you hear
customers
me?
that just yeah, I can hear you. You coming in and out.
Or,
Now on the customer
yeah, I'm in
side,
a bad
this
area.
is for the customers too. On the customer side, this is bad too. They do tip baiting, which they good. They just want their order faster, so they figure they'll just put a big tip on there. No, that's not what they're gonna keep on there, and they know the app can let you take it back. That's not right either. If you put the tip on there prior to the service being rendered,
Yeah.
if you put your tip on there prior to the service being rendered, and then you just do it for tip baiting, which a lot of customers do, that's wrong too. You shouldn't do that either. Say, some people might hate me for it, but I feel it's like they even said it. When you have a service done to you, people usually will look at the service and then tip. I'm still with that. Say it, the service, you get the service and then you do the tip
Mm-hmm.
after. That way, it's no confusion on the driver side, customer side, merchant side, whatever. It's no confusion. That'd be a lot of stuff that could be taken out of the equation. You could even take out that box to say you can't take the tip back, because if the customer puts the tip on it after the service minute, why do they need to take the tip back? So they don't need that, which will free up the app from a lot of programming flaws and glitches too, because they could do that. One less thing they have to do on their app. So that'll be something right
Now,
there.
what they do,
And
what
then
they
on the
do look
driver's
for is
side,
this,
that'll help
though.
us drivers. Hold on, let me finish. On the driver's side, that'll help us, and we don't have to guess if this is going to be a tip or not, and things like that, because it's what you see is what you get, and then the only thing you have to do is do mile, dollar per mile type deal. But you don't have to worry about if this is going to be a tip or not, or they're hiding a tip. It's got to be a certain amount, and then we know the tip and things like that. Is what you see on the screen, that's what you're going to get, unless there's a certain program like an EBT program. You got a certain price, but you can also get more than what they say. So that'll help us with the driver's side. We don't have to think and figure out all that stuff too. If they put the tip on the back end after the service has been rendered, versus putting it on the front end, and then you could do it on the back end as well. Just put it on the back end and just leave the front end until you get the service done. I'm sorry, go ahead now. I was just wanting to finish that part.
No. What I'm saying is the reason why the apps now, we said it a little bit earlier on adjusting your tip, based upon what it is. You don't take it all away, but you still leave them some. The apps that are allowing that to happen are doing that as form on the app, that they are thinking that the customer, if something's going bad, they ain't gonna take it all away. They'll take some, but they don't know that it's some people out there that are doing that just to get the order to not do it. You know what I mean? It's people that abuse that. So that's why DoorDash in certain markets you can add extra to the tip and take it away, but in certain other markets, DoorDash does not allow you to. It's only in certain areas.
Yeah, I know
Now,
my
Uber
market.
Eats and Grubhub allow you to do all the time.
Yeah, in my market for DoorDash it does, because I am a customer of DoorDash. I tip up front, and then because I'm a DoorDash driver, so I understand that part. But I tip up front, and then when they come here, if I don't have the cash on me, I'll tip again. If how the service is, but I still give them a tip for the service. If I did the tip, this me.
Yes.
If I had a bad experience with the driver, I know, because I'm a driver, what the driver is accountable for and what the driver is not accountable for. So when I get my food and I notice that something's missing and the bag is sealed, I'm not going to blame the driver for that, because the driver cannot open the bag. A lot of people got to understand what the driver is responsible for, is held accountable for, and what the merchant or the restaurant, we want to call, is accountable for too. Because we just delivering the product. we're not making and prep. We're not making the product and putting it in the bag, whatever bag they put it in, and then giving it to the driver. But on the driver's side, if we have hot and cold installation bags, we should be using them. You know, we have to show our side too. So when you go to the customer, you have your installation bag with you, and it helps you out too. So you got a whole bunch of little bags and stuff. You put them in a big bag like that, you can carry it. You don't have to try to carry it all like this and risking damaging the stuff. You got it all in a nice bag, so it helps you carry the stuff. Especially you got to go up flights of stairs. And then also it makes you look a little bit professional. So then when you go to the customer, they can see you on the doorbell camera. They'll see that, okay, that person got it in the bag, and then you take it out once you go to drop it off. That's when you take it out. Don't take it out of your bag and then go to the customer, because they're going to think, well, it's your fault because, you see, the food probably always cold. And that was not your fault, because when you got there, the food was there. You was in traffic and all this stuff trying to get there, and the food was there. It's already made, and you got it, and it's cold. But if they see you coming up to the door and you don't have an instant bag, they're going to blame that on the driver. So you kind of set yourself up. So if you could do certain things and not to set yourself up, they could take some of that away from them, blaming the driver for little simple things like that. That's an area I did. So, you know, you got to think about things when you're out here doing it. Think about it. Yeah, you might look funny or whatever you think and why you don't want to carry a bag, but it kind of helps you when you go to the customer. It kind of helps you because it makes a statement. It makes a statement for you when you go to the customer, and that customer sees that. And then even if the food is cold, they'll be like, okay, it's not my fault. It's not the driver's fault because he had it in the bag. So I'm not going to give him a 4-star or 3-star for that. I'm going to still give him a 5-star because he had it in the bag carrying up there and kept it out of the rain and everything else, out of the weather and stuff like that. And there you go.
I think customers should order for pickup so that they can actually test the restaurant that they're going to get delivery from, so that they can see that when they go pick it up, they're missing the items, so that they can see, you know what, I ain't got to blame the driver all the time. I think customers should order on the app for pickup. Then when they get home and they open it up and say, because they're still going to seal it when you order for pickup, they still seal it. So when they get home and then they see, I don't got the extra strawberry biscuit. What happened? Well, this restaurant is known for that, and you order here all the time, and you probably been penalizing the driver over and over and over again. So now maybe this would be a wake-up call for you to stop penalizing that driver like that. Because like you said, we can't take the sticker off and go in there.
Right.
If we do that, you're gonna see that's gonna be messed up, and then you're gonna say that we tampered with or ate some of your food.
Yep.
Can't do none of that.
Yep.
Can't do none of that. Can't do.
So if you could try to eliminate some of that stuff.
Deliver like 4 fries. A driver came to our house one time, George, and we ordered Burger King, and I made a video on it. I literally got like 4 fries in my box. They ate all my fries and left me with 4 of them. I guess they didn't think the order was gonna be a tip.
They should at least take the whole fries if they're gonna do that, man. I mean, it's wrong for what they did, but that was just spitting in your face to me.
Yeah, I had to take the picture and send it in to DoorDash and everything so that they can actually see. I said, look, I'm not gonna be calling y'all about, I said this don't make no sense. I said the driver just left. I said, look, I said I did a short video too and did a picture so they can see. I got 4 fries. What they did was they gave me a refund for the whole entire order. So that sucked.
That's good. That's good, man. You got that, sir. Yeah, I hopefully everybody get some kind of information out of this this topic here a little bit here. Hopefully this will probably clear up some of the stuff and answer some of the questions people might have. So, maybe we could go out there and do a better job on our side. We can't control the customer, but we can control ourselves. So, make ourselves a better person, by doing more stuff. Try to invest in some equipment if you don't have bags and stuff. Things like that. That's what TFC said and stuff. He had a bunch of equipment and stuff like that. Try to invest in some of that stuff. Try to look the part.
Extra cup holders and all that.
Yeah, try to look the part. With your own hygiene. Don't look like a slob and stuff. Try to look the part.
That's a good one.
Because
that's a good one right there.
When somebody looks at you, that's the first thing they're gonna see. And if they wait, a lot of times my customers, they waiting outside. It says leave at door, but they already waiting outside. So when you pulling up and stuff, you coming out there and you looking like whatever. You don't really look like you don't care about yourself and have some pride in how you appear. They're gonna judge you on that because they're just gonna see it. First impressions is the last impression. That's what people say. And it does work. It is true because some people see something for the first time with somebody, and that's the last impression they see of that person, and then they kind of judge. And it depends on what it is. They could judge all delivery drivers like that. Just because one person kicked the bag and stole the food, that first impression for that person doing that, they judge all delivery drivers like that, but it's not. And then it's harder for us to try to figure out how to separate ourselves from the bad delivery drivers. And it's hard because, you don't know what that customer's really thinking. So you're going to have to, when you go up there, do some, talk to the customer, make eye contact, see how the customer reacts, do a little bit of thing. And a lot of that stuff you got to do real fast. You're not going to be there 10, 15 minutes because you got things to do. You got to do it real fast and make an assumption how this customer is going to react. When you see them and stuff, look at the body posture of the customer, see the posture, see what body language and stuff like that. And then if you say something, try to talk from afar to see if the person talk to you. You coming out of your car, you see them stuff. Say, hello, how you doing? Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. See if the person responds. That way you can get an idea as you still going to the customer. You can get an idea. Okay, this customer is really not really want to speak. This customer really don't want to be. I might as well just get the food and just go on out because they not really want to be talkative. That way you could just interact a little bit, do your job and go. They might not even give you any rating. They might give you a 5-star. They might give you 4, whatever, but they might not even give you no rating. That's all. But at least you tried. And you can assume something instead of keep on trying to talk to the person, and the person might not want to talk. They just want to get their food and go. So you got to try to look. That's something you just got to just like keep doing. This is not a new driver, it's basically for you just got to just keep out there and doing, and you'll come up with a whole bunch of different situations. And when you get a knack, you'll get your knack, and you'll know how to do. Everybody's not going to do the same thing as a driver to when they approach a customer. But the main thing everybody should do is have respect for that customer, no matter what. Have respect for that customer. Just like you want that customer to have respect for you. Have respect for that customer. Everybody should be doing that.
Check this out.
Everybody should be doing that.
What you talked about the hygiene, I saw a driver, right? He was so ashy. It wasn't like he was fresh out the shower ashy. You know what I mean? Black dude, you know what I'm saying? He was ashy, but he was crusty ashy. Like he was already ashy and it was crusty ashy. And he was wearing flip-flop thong sandals. So his feet looked like, that's not a good look right there. I don't care who you are. That's not a good look. And he's delivering like that, like he don't realize that that's the way he looks. That right there can make a customer think that it's stuff that might be inside their food. You know what I mean? Customer might think like, you see somebody with wild hair. They go think are flakes and dandruff falling in my hair because of this dude. Look at him. People, the hygiene thing is very, very serious. the drivers that go out and you see them with all the plastic on their hands and stuff, those drivers are more dirty than the other drivers. Drivers, when you can and you see the hand sanitizer place inside the back, right when you go in there, that's gonna kill certain germs. But if you could look, just when you go into a place and you see you're gonna wait a little bit, just go wash your hands. Wash your hands. You know what I'm saying? Use the paper towel, open the door, come on out, then grab the order. Do things like that. When you start perfecting little things like that, you'll perfect yourself all the way around. The little things is what really gets you paid with the customer. It's not the big things, it's the little things.
I agree, brother. I agree with that, man.
But we need
anybody have any questions for me?
The tipping process. We got to make sure that these drivers understand the tipping process, though. There has to be, let's say I'll go to a restaurant and I see it's a brand new driver and I'm chopping it up with him and I'm figuring out, his previous job, he was in construction. Now he's doing like delivery work. He don't understand what the tipping is all about because he came from construction. So, little things to help drivers like that who are coming from a background to where they're not used to it. Those are the drivers we got to help educate because those are the ones that's going to be easily influenced to start doing the wrong stuff. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's why we got to do like tutorial videos like this and others and stuff like that too, Make a little introduction to delivery driving tutorial videos, introducing to that, and then go on from that, and then you can have your safety and all that stuff in there too, as it go.
Right.
That's a good thing.
Speaking on what Hulk Smash just said, George John George, call them what you want, people. Speaking of that right there, if you go to my actual playlist, I have for beginners, I have different things set up there, the tutorials on what you should have and all that. The craziest thing is I started those videos when I first started doing the YouTube. The craziest thing is the videos that have all the real information, the people are not watching because it's when you first started. Now we got to make sure we don't forget about those things and bring it full back around. I fully understand what you're saying. I fully understand. People out there, if you tune in on in, if you just hopped in, we got 3 in here right now. If you have a question, not only about tipping, you can have a question about anything on the delivery side of what we got going on. You can ask any question out there, let them fly whenever you want. But that safety question I asked you guys earlier about the if an employee aggressively approaches you or touches you, are you gonna fight back? I've seen in some places where the driver is going in demanding and going nuts. So that's why I was asking, what do you do if the employee confronts you? Because I was like, look, you could fight back and pin them down real quick and all that, but chances on what the store says, what if they still want to defend their employee and it's their
You broken up, buddy.
Hold on. I have to switch. My Wi-Fi was trying to connect to the hospital and go, so it just did that. It did that weird thing. But I should be back. I'm at the hospital right now, picking up a Panera bread.
I hear you.
Okay,
I hear you. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I hear you. You good. That's true. I believe in that too. I said that's true about the statement you said too. But when it comes down to it, you had to if you have to defend yourself, you have to defend yourself. When I answered that question of yours, I also said that, if you can, you want to be on the defense. You don't want to try to do offense yet. You want to do defense first. And if you're in an establishment, you're going to try to get them involved by yelling out, help, help. Something, this guy's attacking me. See what people will help you. That way you got witnesses and people are being, alert and see what's going on. Now, what you were saying about in the establishment and stuff like that, yeah, but if there's a lot more people in there too, you could kind of like yelling and stuff and defending yourself to the point to try to see if other people can help to try to break up the fight before it becomes a more of a big problem or escalated to something more serious. But if you if you somewhere else that is nobody else around, and you trying to defend, but then they keep coming, you're gonna have to try to take them down. You're gonna have to do some offense there, take them down, and hold them. And when I would say don't really leave the scene, I understand what D-Rap said. It's true too. Sometimes you might have to leave, but you want to be so before you safe because you never know if somebody does have other people. He could be like a scout, and then other people come out. But at the same time, it depends on where the situation is. You don't really want to leave the scene after you have it because then, they got cameras and they might think you are wrong, but you're the victim. But then if you're leaving the scene, kind of running away from the scene, it'll act like you're actually the perpetrator instead of the victim. As long as you can control that person in some shape or form and then call them for help, 911 or other people to help, that'll also help you de-escalate the situation. If you understand, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, the de-escalation process, yes. And check this out. My wife was telling me that at the Wendy's up here, she saw the staff, they had words with one of the drivers. When the driver went up to pick up the order, he tried to go, I guess they weren't paying attention to him or something. He tried to go behind the counter to show the phone, go behind the counter to where they're doing their stuff and show the phone, and the staff got mad at him. And drivers, don't do that. Don't do that. Do not go behind the counter. Do not go behind the counter. Don't do that at all. You should not.
No, because they can figure they can sense you're a threat because you're going behind the counter.
Exactly.
They'll sense you're a threat, and technically you will be a threat because you're going behind the counter when you're not an employee of that establishment. So they have all right to defend themselves if you go behind the counter.
Yep. Now on my live yesterday, I was at the Jack in the Box and I was talking with the person at the drive-through window, and I asked him, what's some of the worst things that delivery drivers do, and he said that he's brand new, but he hates it when the delivery drivers, while he's already helping a customer, they walk in and shove the phone in their face while he's already helping a customer. What do you feel about that?
Well, I feel that's wrong. You if you go in a restaurant, you see the restaurant staff is already assisting somebody else, just wait your turn. Be a little patient. It's not that serious. First of all, to me, it's not that serious at all. Second, it's just this plate rude. You wait your turn, and then once you get up there, introduce who you are, because a lot of us don't wear any kind of merchandise from the company you're working for. DoorDash, Uber Eats, a lot of us don't, so they don't know who you are. You have your phone, but you could be a DoorDash driver or you could be an Uber Eats driver, because a lot of places have a lot of different apps in there. So you want to introduce yourself, who you are and what you're there for, but wait your turn. Now, if you go in a restaurant and you see a whole bunch of people, there's the aisle where you get to do up there and take out line. You still want to ask everybody on that line, have you been seen first? I had that happen in Chick-fil-A. They have a section there that you go to, and there's people waiting there to get their orders. I'm going over there. I'm not going to just cut and just go in the front. I'm going to ask everybody in that line, have they been seen? Have they been seen first for the service? You know, because they're waiting in that line. If they haven't, I'm just going to wait in the line. If one person says no, then I'm just going to wait behind that person because I'm behind that person. If that's the only person that didn't get seen out of all those people there, that's just a little common courtesy.
Oh yeah, you don't want you don't want to start no delivery driver fight.
No.
You know, you don't
Yeah,
want to start
that's
no
what you.
delivery
Yeah,
driver on delivery
you don't
driver
want to start
fight. You don't want that.
fight. Yeah, you don't want to start that either. But you don't want to just go up to the counter either and just show your phone because you're cutting all those people in line. And if the person's already involved with somebody, you gotta wait your turn. You already see that. Just wait your turn. You know, just wait your turn, and then once that person's finished with that person, then you could go on and talk to the staff. So
I got a question for you. In your area, do most of the drivers sit and wait to be waited on, like to get help, or do most of them already go up and get checked on? Because I'm one of the ones where I go up and check in no matter what, so I'm already out the way. But it's a lot of drivers here that realize that I do that, and now I kind of sped it up so that they do it also. If they see me come into place, they know I ain't checked in. He gonna go ahead and check in. So I got them checking in when they come in, you know, so that line, you know, you already know, okay, he already was seen. I'm gonna go ahead and then wait. So are they checking in mostly in your area, or are you going in and it's always a bunch of drivers standing around?
some of them check in. I do check in, but some of them don't. They just go on and sitting around and it's waiting, you know, and this pushing their way through. And if they can see a bag or something, they'll see if it's theirs and try to grab it and don't even say nothing. See, that's another thing.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that.
Yeah, that's another thing. When I go and I see the takeout area to grab the bag, and I see my my delivery bag right there for my customer, I still don't just take it and leave. I still get flag somebody down who's staff over there to say, hey, I'm such and such. I check in, Stu. I'm here for this order. I see it's right here. And I just want to let you know that, you know, they can have my order ready. I just want to let you know before I take it that I'm taking this order, you know. And they say, oh, nice, thank you. Because a lot of drivers just take orders, and that's how they orders taken. They don't check in there. They'll just go to the area and grab the bag. They might grab another bag too, because sometimes I go in there, my order's been taken. They said another driver took it. Then I had to go to the support and try to see if they can make the food again, or whatever the case may be. So I always check in. I always check in before I just do anything. So
one of my biggest things that I'm not liking with some of the drivers, and it goes into what you just said. You'll see that you may have the same person's name. They may be named the same name, but you know, your last name might be like H, their last name might be like A, and they don't even check their phone to match up the receipt with what your order is, and they still try to take your stuff and say, oh, that one's mine. And you gotta let them know, no, this one is mine. And then what app is yours on? I'm not on Grubhub. This one is Uber Eats. Different customer, G. Different customer. So you be taking other apps, you be taking other orders from other apps to other people's houses, and they be like, hold up, we ordered Popeyes. Why we got Chinese food? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Weird stuff happened. Or we ordered. Let me take that back. We ordered chicken pot pies. How come we got the whole family feast? We didn't order the whole family feast. It's only two of us. So how do we get the whole family feast when we both just got a chicken pot pie apiece?
Yeah, you gotta pay attention to details. You know, you gotta. I know you want to get there. A lot of people they want to get these orders, and a lot of people are dirty apping too. So they grabbing the order from another app, you know, because they got multiple apps on at the same time. And they have to go. Oh, I gotta get my order. It looks like mine. I grab it and then go out the door. if I gotta go get another order, and you're not paying attention, and then all of a sudden you took the wrong order, and then they wonder why some people get deactivated and stuff, because the customer, and it's a trend that you taking wrong orders and not getting stuff, so that platform don't think you're worthy enough to stay on it, so they just deactivate you. You put it on one day and it says you deactivated. So
yeah, for the drivers that don't understand that, if you do the same thing over and over again, it's like you said earlier with the rev. These businesses, every pretty much business runs the same model. They get rid of who's not going along with the flow on what they do. So they can't have a delivery driver who has a mess up rate. He messes up 70% of the time. They don't want that driver on the app. They want someone that messes up 2% to 5% of the time. So go ahead and make sure them orders get over there. You got a question for Hope? You got a question for Hope, Emilia?
I can't think of one yet. Let me think.
Got a question for him because
conversation.
No, because it's a shame that a lot of drivers in the community, they don't want to. I think it's taboo is what they think in their brain to really talk about things we should be doing and what we should be looking out for. I think they think it's taboo to do it. It's not taboo. If you guys are out there listening, these things can help. Because I'm telling you, if I'm in an area, I'm not trying to have every spot in my area be a jacked up situation when I'm going in. You know what I mean? I don't want that. I don't want that. And I don't want to be taking restaurants off of my delivery list. Like, I don't want to pick up from there because, you go in a place, and this place is notorious for having a bunch of cold food just sitting up there. You go say, man, I ain't even go pick up from that restaurant, and you go mess yourself up. You go mess yourself up. So, man.
What's your favorite pickup spot? And what's your least favorite pickup spot?
My favorite pickup spot is Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
My least favorite pickup spot is Cracker Barrel.
I've been to the CB. I've been to the CB, boy. You be up in there, boy. You be up in there. It's like going to the claim jumper. You gonna be up in there, boy.
Oh yeah.
You might as well bring a slumber pack. You go be up in there. You need a pillow, and then it gets so packed. You gonna need some aspirin and some Bengay. You gonna be elbowing people.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's we got it. I don't see nobody really in the chat today.
No, we just got 5 in there now. They up inside here. But see, you got to understand this issue right here that we are speaking on. Some drivers that watch and participate all over the gig space, a lot of these drivers have said so many things on the opposite scale. They don't want to chime in to let people see that, hey, I see the light a little bit. It's okay, people. It's okay to say, hey, I used to be a driver like this who was doing everything that they talking about, and now I've changed and I don't do it that way. It's okay. You ain't gonna get blackballed from the people out there that thinks you're cool. Sometimes they may want to hear you say it. Hey man, look, let's go treat these people right and get these orders out there right. Let's do it right. Because I'm gonna tell y'all this: the way DoorDash and these apps are going, you're gonna have to anyway. You'll have to anyway. Yeah. You'll have to go ahead and make that move. You don't want to be stuck. You do not want to be stuck. Now, did you get everything off about safety that you wanted to?
Oh, with the safety, there's a segments and stuff we're doing on safety, and we have different parts and stuff. Like the next safety thing, I'll tell them, was cyberbullying and doxing. That's a safety feature right there that we're gonna be going next time. that's a big safety for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're
Mm-hmm.
a driver or not. I mean, this is something that, you know, to have awareness of. You know, back in 2023 and probably before that, on this June 2023, it was a lot of cyberbullying and doxing going around. And people might not know they're doing it, but they did it, but they might not know. The tutorial will help, so then that way you can understand how to protect yourself a little bit of doxing, how to do things to not do cyberbullying, because certain things you might do, you might not think you bullying people, but it actually is bullying people. So
Right now, I did a live stream a few streams ago, and it was titled "Have You Been Documented on YouTube?" Now,
yes,
and I went into some of this stuff. I want you to give an example, because some people don't understand what cyberbullying is. They think it's like like a little kid. I hate your
no,
mom and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
no, no,
Can you give
no.
somebody an example of what cyberbullying is?
No, it's not just for kids. You know, when they say cyberbullying, they mostly try to relate it to children because it was a new way to try to get more. But cyberbullying is for adults too. You know, when that I want to kind of like keep that to it. I'll keep one. You could be a kid or adult, but you could like, take somebody's face and rearrange their face stuff and and put it out there. That's all cyberbullying. Like that's not what they are. You redoing their image, their face or whatever, and you put it on a website and you sending it out to people and people are seeing that. That's a form of cyberbullying. Because that's not what that person looks like, but you make them to look like something else. And that's a form of cyberbullying there. I don't want to get too much in it because it's a thing we're gonna be doing. We want to mind having you part of it, Mr. Reese, if you want to. I mean, that'd be cool,
Well, yeah,
to
I'm
have
always
be part of
down
that.
because I want to ask this because everybody seem to know that people get mad at the Hollywood gig news, and I have heard this in the past. Reese is a bully to us. He's cyberbullying us. Look at
No.
what he's trying to make up and say about us, but that's not what it is. I'm showing the actual videos like the news
Right.
is doing.
Right.
So that's not
Right.
cyberbullying right there, people. I'm not bullying you guys.
Right.
I'm just putting up news, and when I give my reaction and my opinion on it, it's not bullying you guys. And I'm glad the Rev and Hulk Smash here is going to be going over that when they go ahead and get into that, because you got to understand and separate the two. Everything is not bullying out there, and I want to get from you. Do you think how I approach and with the Hollywood gig news and how I give my messages, is it a form of cyberbullying?
If you're just taking clips and it's showing the clips like they were shown, that's not cyberbullying to me. I don't think that's considered cyberbullying. But if you alter the stuff and make it something else, and to defame somebody or incriminate somebody in the wrong way, that could be considered cyberbullying there too. Okay, so when you actually doing something, if you like you took no giggity no clout clip, the reason why I'm saying that clip is because this is why we had this discussion now with the tipping. The only thing you changed was the hat, the flip, the C. But you didn't alter what he was saying. You didn't alter his face or anything like that. You didn't make him look. You didn't put no kind of weird logos and stuff on his jersey or anything like that. You didn't do none of that. If you did that, that could have been a form of cyberbullying because you defamed that content creator. No giggity, no clout. You were defaming him, and you're messing up his image, and that could be a form of cyberbullying. But you didn't do that. The reason why I said that because that's something you just that was fresh. So I was giving you an example of that you didn't do cyberbullying with him.
Right.
But there are people who do stuff that was in the gig space back 2023, and a little 2024, but we'll just go in 2023 that I've been seeing that, that is part of being cyberbullying and doxing. A lot of people got
Roy was hit with the cyberbullying. Roy was hit with when they put him on that
a lot of people was cyberbullied.
Yeah,
a lot of people was cyberbullied, and a lot of people got doxed, and nobody deserved none of that. But with the tutorial that we're gonna put out, hopefully it'll help people understand that if you not sure, don't do it, but you might not know you're doing it also inadvertently. But some people got malicious reasons to do things, and to dox somebody maliciously is very wrong, because if you dox somebody maliciously, that could affect that person's lifestyle forever, and that person who's attached to that person, people who are attached to that person could be affected too. So don't just stop with this, that person. It goes on. So anybody who knows that person could be affected in some shape or form. And that's not right. And you shouldn't have to live like that. There's places you could go. There's things I'm going to show. We're going to do. I never want to get into it. But,
I'm about to switch
that
the
you
subject.
that you have help.
No more.
Yeah, I know. I want to do this. I want to, with the show, when we put it together, I want you to be there too. If you want to come and be part of the show too and get your opinion, we will like it, because you have some good insights on stuff. So I wouldn't mind having you to come on the show too to put some insight if that's what you want to do. You have some good insights on a lot of stuff.
I'm down with the cause. I'm down with the cause. I got one for you right here. Last night, we doing a delivery. We go to the wing stop. We go pick up the order, come back to the car, open the doors to drive on out, and then the fire truck pulls in directly right behind us and blocks us in. People get on out. The driver of the truck is still on the other side driving, right? I'm asking the fireman, I said, we're doing a DoorDash delivery. I have to take this to a customer. He said, well, just hang tight. I said, well, I was already walking out the door and we're already trying to back out. You have us blocked in. I said, I have to get this to this customer. He said, well, if this was your family member, you would want us to take care of them too. But the thing was, all the guy that got out the truck that's just standing there and watching to see what they were doing, all he had to do was just get in the truck and pull forward to let the cars move, because he actually blocked us and another driver in, okay? So then the AMR ambulance truck comes. So we have to take this to the ER, okay? Dropping it off to the ER doctor, okay? So my thing is this. The fireman who may get food delivered to him was saying, oh, well, I don't care because you are a delivery driver, okay? He said, wait until we're done. Now, I was like, oh, we gonna be here for a while. Luckily, the guy next to us did some crazy inching on out to get on out. So I had to do some crazy inching on out because he gave me a little bit more space. But we dropped off the order, a little late because of the police and the fire department pretty much saying, oh, well, on the customer, when, I'm not saying that everyone is not deserving of getting help. They were with a transient, and they were talking to him, but, there were other cars there that were on the inside who were trying to get on out too. So they were just like, let's just block in all the cars when they had like five lanes right next to us open to park the fire truck there and get out right in front of them. Now, we didn't have to tell the doctor or anything because he's in the ER why it was late. He probably like, oh, well, it's here. Let me finish up my stuff. He probably go heat it up anyway. But if you have to tell a customer your order is cold and late because the police and the fire department held us up for someone else, do you think the customer is going to believe you on why their food is late? And do you think they will dock you, bad rating, and take away your tip?
Well, if you I would say if you keeping a constant communication with the customer, and show them pictures of what's the situation. That's what D-Web was saying too. Show pictures also. Then you did your part. That's all you could do. Now, if the customer still wants to give you a bad rate and stuff, I mean, you can't do nothing about that. But as long as you did your part, you show pictures, you communicate with the customer. Hey, there's something happened here at the restaurant. The fire truck is the first responder coming because they usually say fire truck first before EMS comes, and they're the first responders on the scene, and they just there to try to get the situation to get whatever's happening. Somebody is in distress or whatever, happening. They worry about that, And if the customer just don't have no kind of, understanding, there's nothing really you could do. I mean, you did your part. As long as you did your part, there's nothing else. So if they still give you a bad rating, I can't talk for the customer, but that customer probably just upset or something. I don't know. I don't know why the customer give you a bad rating. If you talk with the person all through the ordeal of what's going on, kept them informed or her informed. I don't want to leave nobody out.
Now,
so hopefully that answers your question. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, yes, sir. I said yes, it did, because now there's a flip side. Because that's the response I got from the fire department and the police there. If we call them because we are stuck or we need help, delivery driver is about to complain how van got attacked by the customer and the police have to come. Some of these policemen and fire department might not think we're serious and be delaying us on coming to help us. That's what I got on the back end of that. Brandon Diaz is in the building. He says, "Is this the exclusive interview?" Oh, we in here talking about Brandon Diaz. We're talking about tipping. We're talking about safety and things like that. Now, you are a person that always has a question. Throw something at us. You always have them. You always have a question. But I was thinking that they ain't gonna take us serious if we call. We say, oh, there's someone following us or doing this and that. Fire department and the police may say, well, we'll just get there whenever we want to. That's what I think by how their actions was. When I was like, I'm trying to get this to the customer, I was already walking out to back out, and you blocked the scene, and he was like, I don't care. I don't care about what you guys do. I was like, oh, but one officer did look and was like, oh, they're doing a delivery, but the fireman was the one that took charge of the situation, not the sheriff. It was weird. I've never seen that happen, but the fireman took charge over it. So we got it to the customer, though. Went to the hospital and did all that. I just thought it was weird. I put the video up last night when it happened. And also in my
I'll go and check it out. I'll go and check it out.
Yeah, we have this issue here. We have an overpopulation of coyotes in our area now because they're building all the homes in the area. So now where they're building all the homes in the areas and the freeway attachments now, this is the land of the coyotes. People are getting their orders delivered to their house, and the coyotes are actually the porch pirates who are going up and eating their food. The coyote out there looking for a rabbit, but he smells some Popeyes and they going up and taking the food and eating it. Now, yes. So now we got drivers that are dropping off food and getting blamed for the coyotes eating their food.
Yeah. I mean, nature, man, can't stop nature, but the only thing you can do, man, is take the picture.
Yeah.
And send it to them, and it's already in the archives of DoorDash. If you also, if you know there's a lot of that stuff going on in that areas, take a picture for yourself and put it in your archives on your phone, and then take a picture to them, because when you take a picture through the DoorDash app, you don't get it saved to your phone. So sometimes take a picture of the item yourself to put it into the archive, just in case that happens, because that area is relatively easy with all those wild animals around there. So then that way you have proof that yes, I did have this food delivered here. But don't do nothing else with it, like some people would probably say, oh, you take pictures of people's houses and stuff, you might go back there. No, that's not what I'm saying. Sometimes you take pictures because of the certain areas, and the app doesn't let you save it on your phone, and you need some kind of way to cover yourself. You can get a body cam or cam for your head, or head cam or something too, and do that. It's the same way. It's the same thing. It's just a video motion instead of a still picture. So it's the same kind of concept anyway. So you're not doing it to try to, do it for bad purposes, just to save yourself. So I wanted to clear that up, so if anybody listen to it now or to the replay, they won't think, oh, I'm trying to do it for, for bad intentions. No, because like I said, it's the same way if you do a video camera footage versus a still footage. You still having footage for your own self, for your own records to help yourself. So if something happens, especially in certain areas. So that's just protect yourself.
Tammy, yeah, Tammy. She was asking Flex. Well, she was telling him, I wouldn't let, she singled me out and said, I don't know why he films his deliveries, but I don't think she understands that that's what we do in the gig world. We film for protection also. She said, she would have issues with us having pictures and video. So hopefully she's listening to you on this right here. We do that for protection to make sure we're doing our job right. It's just like if you're you're working on an armored car, they have a body cam when they go in everywhere for their protection also. You know what I mean? So when we go into a restaurant or a store, there's cameras in there watching everything for protection also. When we pull up to your house, you have a ring cam, or you might have cameras up in a tree or a line, along the outline of your house. You have cameras there. So, you have cameras. So, we do this also because we have customers that will say they never got their food. They'll say that this happened to their food. We got it. Half the drink was gone, stuff like that. So we have to be able to show what we are doing. So it's not for reasons to make you guys feel weird or do bad things with, because if you notice, when you watch the gig work, we do ride-alongs. This is what we do. We do ride-alongs and we do videos and we show houses. There have been houses that, I'm showing where they have the whole address lit up like a taxi sign so the delivery driver can actually see what the address is. You know what I mean? So we're not doing this stuff. We're not doing this stuff to cause harm or do anything else like that. And please, if you are somebody else out there watching and you're watching us gig people, don't try to contact DoorDash or Grubhub or whatever platform you think they're working on to try to get them in trouble, because all we're doing is protecting ourselves. This is pretty much the only way we can make sure we are safe and make sure that we can still do what we got to do. So plain and simple there. Plain and simple there. We got to make sure of that. And I really wish that some of the restaurants would stop tripping when a delivery driver, I can like Mushi Moo will have on the GoPro. He's already like 6'2" or something. Then he got the GoPro on top of his head. So it looked like, he in there trying to, do whatever else it is. And they told him on the place, you can't bring your camera in when you're picking up the order. And I want to ask you, should restaurants care if we are coming in filming? If you do it like that, if you have the display on, like you got it on your head, you got the camera on your chest, should they care and tell us no, you can't come in just because we are recording?
Well, I guess they're doing it for their protection and their secrets, because you got to understand, like restaurants have certain when they do the production of the food and stuff, you can see it, right? But if you videotaping it you could take it to a competitor and they could mimic it or make it better or try to figure out what you're doing to make themselves better. So it's kind of like they want to do it, I would think, for protection of their privacy, for competitors to not to know what they're doing for the ingredients rise and stuff. You know, like if you look at these cooking shows, they don't tell you everything they do in their cooking when they put stuff in there. Or sometimes they already pre-measure stuff, so you don't even know how much to put something in there. You know, you might see that type of season, whatever, but they don't tell you exactly how much or how to do it. And then they skip things. And some people say, well, this is my secret thing. I'm not telling you, but it's going in there. Because, you know, they have competitors out there. So they're doing their marketing to get their customers to keep coming back and more customers, you know. You don't want somebody from somebody else to grab your stuff and then take it to, you know, Joe Schmo's restaurant down the street, and then all of a sudden they popping up, hopping, and you're not hopping because they stole all your customers because they got your secret formulas and stuff. So that's probably why they're doing it, and also maybe because of I guess for people, I'm trying to say the right word. Hold on a sec. You know, I'm trying to say, let me just explain it. When somebody goes to the bathroom, they don't have any cameras in the bathroom, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say, I can't think of the word right now. It's on the tip of my tongue. But some places they don't want people to film because you could be filming other people in the establishment. And even though it's kind of public, but you know, if they didn't give you authorization, it depends on your state too. If they didn't give you authorization to film them, you know, you can't really film them. Now, when people go inside establishments, like news reporters or different things, they probably have to go through hoops and stuff. You probably know more about that in that field because you're a news channel. They would have to go through hoops and stuff before they did just go in there and just film. So, you know, me, if I have a GoPro and I'm just going inside filming, you know, if I have to write the authorizations and stuff like that, you know, it's against policy and stuff like that, and it's against people's privacy. That's privacy. So, you know, that's why they tell you right then and there to don't do that. You know, you got so that's what I think.
See, that's why truck drivers said when you go into these restaurants, you need to be going inside these restaurants and building rapport so that when you walk in, they know that, okay, there's our driver. They look and see if there's an order up there, so they know that you working with them. So once you break that down, you know, that's how I'm able to walk in and film. And then I let them know who I am and what I do everywhere I go. So they get used to it. You know what I mean? They know he about to walk in, hold it here. That's what he does. But it's because I was able to talk to the people, and you know, I'll go in there to make sure the working relationship is there, so it's not weird and fishy. You know what I mean? So they're like, okay, bam, in and out. Yeah, you know,
if they let you do it because they trust you that you're not going to use the footage for anything else for educational reasons and so, then yeah, so be it. But you know, just going in there, just stop filming and stuff, and you know, sometimes you go it might not go your way. Even though you don't mean harm, some people might not see it as such.
Yeah, you can get trespassed. You can get trespassed and banned.
Yeah. So
you don't want to get trespassed while doing delivery work, people. You get trespassed while doing delivery work, you will get deactivated.
I always say, when in doubt, ask the question. You know, it won't hurt to ask a question. When in doubt, you don't think you're not sure of something, just ask. You know, it won't hurt you to ask instead of just I'll just do it. You know, they ain't gonna bother. And all of a sudden, people coming on, swarming on you. Like, what you doing? What you doing, man? What you doing? Why you here now? I'm here to pick up food. Why you filming? Why you need to film to pick up food? Then you got more attention to yourself and then everybody else, and then people are going to stop filming you. You know?
Right.
Because everybody got a camera phone. With all the people now.
I got a question for you. Have you done another war? How many wars have you done since our video?
I've done more wars. I'm in a war now, and I'm gonna be one on the 3rd and the 4th. I got the head person on the 3rd and the 4th of next month. The head person, which is GWO herself, Miss Red. Me and her got a war.
Okay.
This is a solo for 2 days for 12 hours each day. DoorDash only. Tips is not included. Cash tips are not included. Only tips on the app. No cash tips are included, but tips on the apps all included. You got to have all your earnings posted by 11:59 the second day before midnight, and then the winner will be announced on the Situation Room the next day, which is on Monday, because they have the Situation Rooms every Monday. The winner will be there. The stipulation is if you lose, you have to dye your head red. Now, red is known for being red, but the people over there said she never saw her red. So, she's a tough one to beat. But they vote for me. They vote for me. They vote for me to beat her so they can see her dye her head red.
So what if yeah, but her hair's already been red. It's already been red. It's on Hollywood Gig News. I got videos.
I guess I didn't see it, but some of them over there said that they haven't seen it. They haven't seen it had been red. So I'm gonna try to.
Oh man, all right. So now seeing you with red hair, you go look like Cisco from Drew Hill.
But I'm doing the one.
You gonna be unleashing the dragon. You're gonna be unleashing the dragon.
I'm doing Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman.
All right, now.
So if I lose, I got to do.
If you do an order though? What if you say I'm about to push the limit, and I'm on the very last order? The very last order is before the cutoff, but you haven't dropped the order off yet. You're still on it. Does that order count?
Well, the cutoff is 7 p.m. It's a 12-hour war for 2 days. The cutoff is 7 p.m. on the second day. It's 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on day 1. Then it's 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on day 2. On day 2, if you are already in process of an order, if that order came through before 7 p.m. on the second day, you can accept it. If you think you can accept it. It doesn't matter if it goes over, because you see, if you look at it, it'll tell you when you actually picked up, when you accepted the order. So it tells you, it tells you on the app. So when you go on the app, it tells you the time on the app on DoorDash when you do the orders. But as long as you get that order, you don't have to have it dropped off by 7 p.m. You have to have it. You have to have it accepted by 7 p.m. the second day. So if you accept it at 7:01, it doesn't count. But if you accept at 7 p.m. on a dot, it does count. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. You know what I mean? And see, I'm glad this war is going on, because all the information and detail is there. You know what I'm saying? It's all there. How many wars have you won since?
None. After that, I haven't won any since. After that, I came close, but I haven't won any.
All right.
But it's fun though. It's also fun.
Stipulations for cash tips though? Are there any stipulations for cash tips? Like if you are receiving a cash tip, like let's say you want to set one up and you say cash tips are allowed. Could you put a stipulation in there that says you have to record that delivery? Like record, You know, you got to record you like when you get the tip, record yourself getting it right then and there, something like that.
Yeah, if you do receive it cash tips, you know, that's the thing with the Ceci thing. There was no stipulated cash tips, and there was a misunderstanding there. So, you know, since I get tips, that's part of my earnings, so it added up. But you know, with the cash tips, so just to make it so we won't have the problem, we don't do it. But if you want to do cash tips, you got to do an actual live show and have it running the whole time. You know, they do that on their walls. They do live shows.
Oh, so if you want to
They
add
do.
cash tips, you got to do a live
No,
ride
I don't
along
want.
for your whole tip.
Yeah, because that's the only way. That's the only way that nobody can see that you're aligned. Then, because you see cash tips, you know, people could say, "Oh, you took it out of the bank," or this and that. You had it in your pocket the whole time, and such that. Blah blah
Right.
blah. But if you do a live show, as is do a live, and you doing the whole war live, and everybody can see it, and when you get, they can see you go to get the order. You show the order on your screen, you know, boom, that. If you get a customer get a cash tip, you know, you might want to go away from the customer and then show the cash tip. Because when I get cash tips, I just put them in my pocket and go away from the customer. And then I go get the cash tip away from the customer. I don't look at it in front of the customer because that's, to me, is kind of rude.
That's rude. That's
So
rude.
So you would do that, and then you show I just got this, you know, I just got this cash tip, you know, flag up in the air, whatever, from the customer, you know, try to do it away, but then show on the screen and say how much it is. So then that way it's on video. And then that way you could go back and look at the videos and prove that, okay, that person had that $3 from that one. That person had that $20 there. That person had that $50 there. That person had $100 there. He's not lying. So when you go and show all your cash tips now on the Discord, and you show it, then with the video, you can see it that way too, and you can see, okay, this is adds up to what the video says for that person. And then that way there's no, but that's a lot of work to do. I mean, you could do it if you really want to add cash tips, but it's simple not to put cash tips in there because you can actually see the tips on the app, and it shows it on the app right there. And it tells you for you on the app. That way you don't have to worry about doing all that extra stuff and try to remember to put it in and things like that. So just to make no confusion and stuff, and nobody's saying anything wrong or anything that you try to do anything bad or anything, just keep the cash tips out. Even though we understand cash tips do count as earnings, but when the war is a little bit harder, you know, unless
Now,
you do the war like that.
I'm guessing, you know how some people will tell you, do you have Cash App? Do you have Venmo? I'm guessing you can't count those then either too. And you know, someone says, you know, I can go ahead and Cash App you, and then they Cash App you. So I'm guessing you ain't count. Yeah, none of that stuff. I'm guessing that's considered cash too, correct?
It is considered cash, but you know, on that Venmo and stuff account, it might not be what the customer name is, and you want to go through that, and
Right.
so it's another gray area that people could kind of question, and it could go either way. So this the best thing to do is what the app says, because you can't really manipulate. I'm not going to say you can't. If you're some kind of computer genius, you can do anything if you know what you're doing, but it's just more reliable as a source of a proper war versus added external stuff. You know, now you could use the
Right.
Cash, Venmo, and stuff for like different events. You know, for giveaways and things like that. You know, stuff like that that a lot of content creators are doing now. what you're doing in the Cash App, to try to help build your brand up more and things like that. That's something different. But when you're with a war, just to try to keep it more simple, so everybody will be on the same page, it's just be easier instead of make more work for everybody too and yourself, and the headache behind it. Just keep it simple to this the app. Whatever goes into the app, whatever goes into the app, and that's any app you're using. Whatever goes into the app, because it tells you everything on the app that you need to know.
Now, is there a way to or does anyone do like, let's do a 5-hour war? Let's see who can make the most in 5 hours. Like, do you have wars like that go on? I said, do you have like wars that go on for like just 5 hours, or let's say a 2-hour war, 3-hour war, or do they normally go like a day or two?
No, they got it now that they you could do like a 1 hour, 2-hour war. Yeah, they got it now that you could do that now. They set the system up now that way. You can also chat with everybody who's on the wall. Now everybody who's on the wall, you can chat with them. You can chat and talk smack.
So those improvements, those things that we spoke about, the only things to improve on, they fixed them.
Yeah, they were saying that they was in the works of doing stuff too, but yeah, since I guess it came into light from that incident, I guess they improved it on that. But it's actually more easy friendly, and it also they did other stuff in the war too. That I'm not going to discuss that part. You go on the Gig Wars app and you can see it, but it's actually the app is actually running a lot better. I haven't had any troubles with the app, and kudos for Gig Wars official and Gary Middleton on the app, and they have a lot more easy friendly stuff on the app. You could also go on to the live stream on the app and stuff and things like that. Doing the message with them. That's a good improvement, because that actually makes it fun, because then you can message people back and forth on that app and talk to a little smack and see where it goes from there. Just to have some fun and talk smack.
Right there, Lisa said she's in a year-long war with Josh B.
Inside
I'm in a year catering war, so only catering orders for a whole year. Dang.
Yeah, well, that's a war that if you have catering apps or even DoorDash, you can only add the catering part of the DoorDash app. But if you have other catering apps, that's more easier, because that's all they do is catering. So I would think they would probably do more of the catering apps than versus just the DoorDash app, because you don't get a catering order all the time. So that war would be more
of a year. That's a long time.
Yeah, but you can do catering apps that don't always be on an app like DoorDash. They don't always have. They have catering apps, but you don't always get them. But you can add that to that war, I would think, because it is a catering order. So it should count, because it says catering orders only. So that should count towards your score on the catering orders. According to that, what she said there, that should count. But I haven't seen. I didn't look at that war. I had to look into it, because they probably got information in there. So I will go and look at it. But if it's a catering war app, if it's a catering war, that means I would think all catering is acceptable from all the apps, no matter how often you get it. But if I was doing that war, I would do the biggest apps that do the majority of the catering apps. The catering orders would be delivered and delivered that. So I would do that. I would do those two apps a lot to try to win the war. But
now, Josh B, is he the Is he my goodness. He the white guy, little thicker white guy with the short hair? Is that the guy? Josh B?
I'm not 100% sure. I
Okay.
don't want to say I'm not 100% sure. So
Okay. DoorDash catering counts also. It's what it says there. DoorDash catering counts also. Now when you all right, so when you get up there, George, and let's say you know you're looking at, are all the apps already programmed into the war thing, and you just click what apps you have, and then those link up to your phone, so you know what I mean? Because what if someone says, all right, catering apps, but let's say they have like one doing easy cater, and one of them has like deliver that, and so are the catering apps already on preset so that you can pick which ones you have?
sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Um.
I was asking, yeah, go ahead. I think you heard me.
Yeah. With the app. Hold on. I'll put it up a little bit here. Hold on. With the app. They have the apps that a lot of people do on there, and you just click it to see which one that you do. It doesn't like go to your phone. It tells you that what apps you have when you click it when you join. So you click on what apps that you do, and then it will save it in there. So every time you go to the wall, it's there. But like when you make a wall, you click on whatever app you want to do on the wall. If you don't want to do all the apps, you don't put them on there, But it'll when you actually first sign up for it, and it asks you what platforms you use, then you just click on the platforms. Majority of the platforms are like all default because majority of everybody uses. So you just go down the list and just click on which ones you got, and it saves it into your file and your account. So if that answers your question, yeah, it saves it to your account like that. But when you actually make the wall, you gotta click on each individual app that you want part of the wall, and they do that because you might not want Instacart, but you just want shipped. So then for food delivery for shop and pay orders. So you just want shipped. Now a lot of people probably have mixed emotions with ship, but that's the app you want to use, and not Instacart. But it is a shop and pay app. So you want to watch how you word it. You don't want to say a shop and pay app.
I got you.
You don't want to say a shop and pay app war. You want to say a ship war. This platform is going to be shipped, and then you're going to probably go in there and say, well, this is the only app you can use, and whatever stipulation you might want to put in there, for that, and that's the only app that you can use for that war. And everybody's got at least, if they don't have ship, don't use Instacart because it's not going to count because it says in the war shipped only. So if you don't have ship, you don't enter the war. Just like they had a war on Tesla, a Tesla war. Now there's other EV cars. They had a war on Tesla war. There's other EV cars.
Wow.
But it said Tesla war. So if you don't have a Tesla, you can't enter that war.
You can't compete in that war.
Yeah, because you see the Tesla is going to be even match because the Teslas how they charge will be pretty much similar versus another electric vehicle from another brand, how they charge up. Because a Tesla charges up different than another car. It might not charge as fast as another car, or this car charges faster. So when you have to charge a Tesla, you're down. You can't do any work. So when you're charging a Tesla, say somebody came up with another EV car and they went into that war. And I don't know, the Tesla takes like 15 minutes. I don't know. I don't have a Tesla. But I'm just saying, for example, Tesla takes 15. Don't quote me on that. Tesla takes 15 minutes to charge, right? Another car might take 8 minutes. That's not really good because it's not the same. It's not a Tesla. It's a different brand. You see what I'm saying?
Oh wow.
Yeah. So when you look at the
For what?
war, you gotta read it and ask. And if you don't understand it, just ask the
What you
person
need for what?
who. Just ask the person who did the war.
It's on
Because
the directive.
normally the person who did the war is the first person on the list. That's how you can tell. Whoever did the
Right.
war is the first person on the list. So when I did the war, I was the first person on the list because it automatically defaults you to the list on the war. So you're the first person on the list. So that's how all the wars are made. So when you're looking at the war, look for the first person on the list. That's the person who normally had created the war. And that way you could get in touch with them. You could join the war if you want and ask questions, or before you join the war, go to Discord on their app so you can talk to that person who made the war.
Okay.
So that's what I understand too. And that way, if you join the war, you understand all the stuff in the war, so you don't have to like think about it.
That's crazy how it's broken down like that. Even with the electric vehicles, you got to break it down to just Tesla or, you know what I mean, this and that. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, that was just the war. It said Tesla war. So you have to have a Tesla. You have to have a Tesla to enter the war. So that's one of the requirements, because each car is, each for electric, for the electrical cars and stuff, they charge different. They might not, some might charge faster than others. Now, I don't know too much about them. I don't have one. I only have a hybrid, so I don't know. Some hybrids are PHEVs, plug-in hybrid. So you got the plug-in hybrid, and then you got the regular hybrid that charges on its own as the car is moving. So that's the difference. But the plug-in hybrid, you got to plug in to charge the battery side. You can still charge the battery side with e-braking, for that braking mechanism they do too. But you got to plug it in like you plug a regular EV car, But a regular hybrid, you don't have to do that because it runs off of it has a generator and everything, and it charges up the batteries as it's moving. So that's the difference.
Oh yeah. So the hybrids though, I would like to. All right, so a hybrid and a regular gasoline car, right? Do people think that you can make more in the hybrid for the day over, because to me it still goes over if you're gonna accept your orders or not. I can understand the full Tesla.
Well, the thing about the thing with the hybrid is the thing with the hybrid is you don't have to fill up. You got more miles you could go on one tank and stuff versus a regular gasoline car, because you got to fill up so often. But a hybrid, you got electric power because it goes to a certain speed and then it kicks into the gasoline side at a certain speed. So what some particular speed would say. So that's how a hybrid works, a regular hybrid. So when you're doing that,
I want to thank Right, Sarah Lisa just put that in about my mom. I gave everybody a shout out there. That I see it there. I give everybody a shout out there that did that. Everyone that donated and helped out and did everything, and the people that did not leave a thumbs down for my mom, all the ones that left a thumbs up, I gladly appreciate it. And hopefully my mom rubbed that togetherness on all of y'all. Y'all been watching Hot Facts for over 1.5 to 2 years, so I thank you. And we all felt it, kept my confidence high. Whoever else don't got the confidence that we got from that, shame on you. shame on you. If you guys want to leave more comments, the videos are there. Go ahead and leave them. I'm always going to give a shout out to the people that did that because you guys are showing support. So I appreciate it. Yes, yes, yes. And it's cold outside, y'all. When y'all out there delivering right now, I got to leave a message. It's cold. Keep your clothes on because it's cold out there. It's freezing in my area. So keep them on. George John said hygiene. He said hygiene, y'all.
Hello. Yeah, hygiene. Yeah, hygiene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you ever did a mixed war with you against like a hybrid?
Probably people have hybrids. I won't know. I won't know. Unless I ask them. But it doesn't matter. It depends on how the war's set up.
Okay.
If the war wasn't specifically a certain brand of car and stuff, you can use whatever you have. You're just doing deliveries. It's more what the platforms you can use and stuff like that. So, and then they have a note section, so you can just put the stipulations and stuff in the notes, right there to go by. You gotta read the notes.
Okay.
You click on that, read the notes and stuff. Like a regular war, man. You can have a hybrid, you can have a Tesla, regular, not even a hybrid. You can have an EV, a complete EV, and still do those wars too. It's just that particular war specifically said Tesla war, so you have to have a Tesla type car. It didn't say what brand of Tesla because there's different grades or different trim lines of the Tesla. I would say just like there's different trim lines of your car. It's the same car, but it's a different trim line for the same car. So they just said Tesla war. So that's all you have to realize. You have to have a Tesla car. Now, if you want to rent one for the war, go right ahead. But I'm not going to rent a Tesla. But some people might, So
George,
to answer your question,
give me a quick second, George. Give me a quick second, George. I'll be right back. So I'm about to put you on solo, so you go over whatever you got to go over. I'll be right back.
Nothing really.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for your location.
All righty. Let's see. That's it for solo. All righty. Oh yeah. George went over that. George said you can communicate and do all of that stuff. George, what's gonna be your I know you and the Rev got the, you guys are working on the separate shows and stuff. What else you got planned for 2024? Brand new year, you know what I'm saying? Um, you know, you and TFT show support probably more than everybody else out there. You know, TFT said my plan is to try to get into some videos now. You know, you gonna try to do some videos or just stay on the co-host thing and see how that runs.
Well, basically, like let's try to the community to try to get information out there, just to help out the community to come closer to understand each other, and not have all this bickering, because there's a lot of talent out here in this community. A lot of communities come over here and they don't realize how much talent we have in this community. There's a lot of people in this community that have a lot of talent.
A lot of
outside
talent.
of gig work, and we could use that talents to our advantage and make everybody better in what we do. Because we have one thing. If anything, we have one thing in common. We out here trying to make money to support ourselves and our families. That's one thing we have in common right there to start off with. We're all grinding, how many hours it is, it doesn't really matter. Some people do less hours, some people do a lot of hours. It doesn't matter. You're all doing it for the same goal, to provide you a more financial stability and for your family.
Right.
And that's the one thing that we all could agree on right there. That I see. But with all this bickering stuff around, we don't need all that stuff. A lot of people are curious about this community, and I'm hoping that this community could see that. If there's other people in other communities that come over, they don't understand that. We could teach them what the gig work does, not just, and how we could function, doing our jobs and everyday stuff, doing safety, different things that happen. Like you had a thing that happened with your car, and going all through that. And other people had things that happened to their cars too. That stuff is real life, And and a lot of people don't know that. We take a lot of the burden to ourselves, for a lot of the stuff that we have to go through to make ends meet, each day.
Right.
And the job is very go ahead.
No. The job, and everything. You talking about the bickering, and what made you say, what, enough is enough? I had enough. What was the straw that said, what, I gotta try to do my part to change this.
Well, I came to this world to learn knowledge, because it was something new, doing Uber or Lyft and all that stuff or whatever. And I came to YouTube for people who actually does that, to try to help me out, me personally, for their experiences and stuff, But with that, it was going good and stuff like that. But then it just turned another way, and it's not like people trying to help people people are still doing that, but it seems like it's more the drama that's taking over, more of drama versus just everybody trying to come together as a community to help each other grow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I came to this community. This community is very good. I appreciate everybody welcoming me in this community. You know, they helped me out and stuff, gave me tips and tricks and stuff. I learn things. I have an open mind, learn things and do it. Some things work, some things don't. But you won't know until you try. So, but with all this, he said, she said, this, that, the other thing, yeah, you're going to have your little fights. But when it gets to the point of going overboard and doing all kind of unnecessary stuff that's really going beyond this YouTube space and going into reality, real life that could affect people in real life situations and stuff, that's when it's going too far, you know. When things affect other people to the point that they have a bad outcome or whatever the situation is because of YouTube, it's not good. You know, it's toxic. And that's gotta stop. So with these tutorials and stuff that D-Rev and I are doing and things like that, just to try to help awareness, to try to have people have an open mind and open their eyes up to see, you know. There's a lot of things out here that, you know, we both military vets and stuff, and there's others. Not saying that if you're not a military vet, you don't count. You do. You have a voice and everything. But we look at things in another perspective, in another way. And, you know, we've both been through a lot of stuff. That there's a lot of people out here that, you know, this little bickering stuff is nothing compared to what somebody else would want to do to us. You know, you talk about stabbing in the back. They do worse than stabbing in the back. They cut your head off. You know, It's just a figure of speech. But these people out here, you know, in different countries, whatever, not everybody likes us. So, and America's a free country, but, you know, everybody has their own beliefs, and then it goes back to that in some shape or form. So
now with the revolution had and I didn't think that, you know, I didn't think he was gonna respond to because Gig Drive and Thrive mentioned me also when, you know, he made the comment, and then he made the comment on the Revs thing, and then he mentioned me in a comment about supporting and everything else like that. And, you know, I want to ask you, because I didn't, you know, seeing the Rev, like to me, the Rev got upset, you know, when he, you know, when people talking about, you know, why are you guys going to say you want to support Black business? And I just wanted to hear from you. What did you think? What did you think when you hear the comments that were made by the gentleman? You know, I wish I can give you 2 thumbs down, and, you know, I'm not going to support someone just based upon race. And then he left a comment the other day and said, you know, I'm going to get a lot of backlash for this, knowing that what he's about to say it's not good. So to me, if you say that before you say it, there's already an issue with you there. So I want to hear from you. What did you think about that? And, you know, I want to also hear, why should people not get upset if someone Black is saying he wants to support Black business also?
I said people can support whoever they want to support, man. It's up to whoever. I mean, everybody got their opinions and stuff too, you know. If that's his opinion, you know, I don't know all the details of that. I don't want to really respond too much on it, but if everybody got their opinions on stuff. So, you know, he's going to respond how he's going to respond, you know, in the comment section. That's how he feels or whatever, you know. And he's, you know, if you're going to respond to something like that, you know, it takes a lot, because you see, everybody can see that. So it's just like me and you talking, you know, it's everybody can see that. So, you know, he's expressing his opinion. You know, did he actually attack the Rev and directly said? Maybe not. He was just probably expressing his opinion. I'm not sure the whole thing.
His
but,
opinion,
you know,
his opinion came from a lot of it came from, how the Rev was saying, work with communities, the small Black businesses in my area, and all this other stuff. Um, all of that, and the Rev was trying to explain, you support the businesses because they do a lot for the communities also. And, he was saying, I'm going to be supporting Black businesses in my area because it's harder for them to get up and running, to even keep it up for the 5 years when your business starts. You know what I'm saying? They give you that little 5-year thing. But then what really got them a little upset was when I did, the 15 Black content creators who have made a way for themselves and made a move. They were offended, saying, why are you only putting the Black content creators there? And I'm explaining that, they're doing it, and Black History Month is coming up too. And we've been trying to do something for Black History Month for the past 2 years now. So in order for us to get something going, you start showing the stuff earlier. But they were saying, why are you guys not putting any white guys up there in that list? Saying stuff like that. So, whatever they're trying to do, their opinions, were trying to make it to seem like we're militant and we're saying Black power, like we're Black supremacists. It's what they've been trying to put out there. So anytime we say something now, the comments are coming out like, why are you guys talking about Black business and all that? You guys are this and that. So that's why he started writing this stuff, and to me, I'm just like, why is that car just parked there? To me, I'm like, you got to understand, because, when you're dealing with like the Hispanic culture, you go to places and they have their businesses. You go to the Indian places, they have their businesses, their shopping centers, the Koreans and everything else like that, and they say, hey, I'm going to support, my area here and go help out there also. So I don't see why there's an issue if why can't we do the same thing is my question. Why can't we do the same thing, or even be allowed to say it out loud? It seems like a crime for us to say it out loud.
This right here, this question right here is like a almost going into like a drama thing. Like I said,
Well, don't speak on any individual. Just speak in
no.
general
I'm
about,
not speaking on. I'm not speaking on any individual stuff. It's just that like it's a touchy subject. People gonna say what they want to say, but people do that all the time. Like everybody's gonna want to celebrate how they're gonna celebrate an event, how they're gonna do it for Black History Month, Hispanic Month, whatever month. St. Patrick's Day. Whatever they're going, people are going to celebrate it. Some people, there's always going to be somebody who doesn't like something. Are they wrong? Probably not. No, because it's their opinion.
Right.
They have the right to their opinion. But when it goes wrong, when it's wrong, is when you try to push your narrative on somebody else. That's when it's wrong. If you have your narrative, that's fine. Have your opinions and stuff and go by that. But if somebody still wants to do it, and if you try to push your narratives on them, say it's wrong to do that, then that's wrong, because you see everybody got their own beliefs and opinions and thoughts and stuff like that. So that's when it comes wrong, because you're not doing an opinion then. You're making more of a statement or trying to overlook. I can't really say that. I'm trying to say the right words. Basically, you trying to force your beliefs on somebody else. That's just like anything, You try to force your beliefs on anybody else, and that's when it gets. That's when it gets to the point when people start arguing and things like that. If you say an opinion and have a little debate and stuff like that, that's one thing. But when you start forcing your ideas and stuff and say, no, that's wrong. No, you got to do it this way, this like that, the other thing, then that's when it really gets to the point of, chaos start happening. And you don't want all that. And that's
right
where I think this is starting to go, maybe. And I don't want to really say it is or not, but, I just feel that, everybody has the right to say an opinion on things. And some people, gotta accept, somebody's just making an opinion. They're not forcing their opinion on you. They're just making an opinion on something. That could be anything. It don't have to be this race thing. It could be anything. But other people might take it as something different and not letting the person speak and expressing and understanding their opinion versus them forcing an idea on somebody because they believe in whatever. Then you won't get the full grasp of what that person's trying to say. If you understand what I'm saying, if that makes any sense. So
Yeah, I think in
for that
2024
situation,
we're gonna
any
have to
other
have more
situation.
dialogue.
Say again.
I said we're gonna have to have more dialogue for 2024, and I think that's one of the biggest things that's missing, especially in our community. Yeah, people do live ride-alongs and they get people coming up on panel, but most of the discussions that goes on these panels is not really on what how you want to fix and help and do things. I think we need more open dialogue with each other, to try to make things a little bit better for 2024 in the gig community. I think we need more dialogue from other creators. I think more channels should be open to mix together so we can have better open dialogue. You know what I mean? To start something.
Right. But if somebody just if you don't agree with somebody, that's fine to agree with them. But don't say their opinion don't matter or act like their opinion don't matter or put them down, call them all kinds of names and stuff. That's when it gets bad, because it don't stop just like that as a debate thing. It goes further than that. And that's when a lot of this animosity and stuff come into play, and people want to go after these other throats, and then things be said that you can't take back, and then you regret later on and stuff like that, and accidents and stuff like that. So that's what I saw in 2023. A lot of that stuff. And like I said, with the new tutorial stuff that D-Rev and I is hoping to just help open people's eyes up, the ears up, get a little knowledge of stuff, think about another perspective, and then see how we can come together as one. Because there's all communities out there that look at us. Some of us think we're just children, that has no discipline, and then some of us are intrigued on the things we have, but we're not using our tools and knowledge right. We have a lot of knowledge here, like I said earlier, and we could use that in our advantage, and we could bring that to the table to help other people. Like you have a problem with your car.
Nice.
Somebody else probably could have heard that, and they could have helped you with the car. You probably could get the car faster done versus just you. And I'm saying you don't know anything about your car, but somebody who could be in that field more have that knowledge too. And y'all putting your heads together, in that situation. Boom. It's a bad starter, and then you got to get a battery. And then all that stuff, and then go all through that other stuff you went through, anything, So it's the knowledge here. It's not just doing deliveries, but you finding out these people got other skills, and that's what we're trying to see to use is the people's other skill sets to come to the surface. And when those skill sets that people have come to the surface, it makes this community a lot better to me, and it'll grow. But other people,
we can have
who
notarizers,
want to have a voice,
notary and everything.
Yeah, other people who want to have a voice.
There could be underwriters. We could have underwriters here, working in the gig world. People that do underwriting and all that stuff.
Right. You can have people who are musicians. They could do beats and stuff. And that could be help collaborate and get you some beats and stuff for your shows and things like that. So how you open your show, hot facts with Robert Reese. You can have another beat instead of just that same beat on that same hot facts song or whatever.
Oh no, I got more. This is just the one that's sticking now. I have like 7 of them, and throughout the first year, I used I used 3 of them, and then when my producer, my cousin, and my brother said, "Look, we got this one," because the first one I was gonna do was gonna be the rule. I had a rap that I was doing about the rule. First one you get, the first one you take. So I had a rap to do that. And then my brother was like, "Nah, we got something, Lil Jazzy, you know what I'm saying? We got that." So I was like, "Cool." And it's crazy because when I watch my stuff, it's like I'm used to hearing it so much now. Like,
Issued for your location.
Sorry.
Yeah, man. And I told people that in my description thing though, my cousin, Navy 380, his information is there. They can get in contact with him, do things like that. I've always said, hey, talk to my people, you guys want to get the plug, you got it there. Because that stuff helps. That stuff helps. The Rev right now, he's once he figures out how to put it on the how I have it on the StreamYard and have it set there. Once he figures out how to have it set in there, he said, "You know what? I gotta have some tunes." He said, "I gotta have some tunes. I gotta have something to go with when I'm giving the shout outs and do all of that." So and he's tapping in with the with the man show. So he's tapping in there, get some information there. The Information Man show, he's getting some information there on how to do certain things, and that's what we got to do. Figure out how we can help each other out. It helps the channel out.
Yeah, people get information from all kinds of places, which will help the channel out, you as an individual, which is good. You want to grow your channel, so you want to have outside sources that try to help, find outside sources that can help, to help grow your channel in a positive way. You got to remember what you made a channel for. Why'd you want to create a channel? That's the question. And all these content creators, I don't have a channel. I'm just a viewer. For all the content creators who created a channel, why did you want to create a channel? That's the question that you always got to go back and think about, and that's what hopefully will drive you to keep that channel going. Is why did you want to create a channel in the beginning? What was the purpose of your channel that you want to show people on your channel? That'll also help drive you to keep going that way instead of staring off. Now, things going to happen that you're going to stay off, but if you remember to come back and keep going. So, you got to remember those 2 things right there. You remember those, you do good, I would think. There's probably others, but those 2 came to my mind.
Most people that in the gig world that will, at least from what I've experienced, whenever they're asked this question, most of the people always say they want to help and give information to help drivers out there. That's what majority of them say. Now, I understand what you're saying. Did you lose focus on why you even started the channel to begin with? I got you there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't want to lose that focus because that's no fire.
Right. Yeah, you lose focus on why you wanted to create a channel in the beginning and stuff, then you're gonna go astray and stop doing this and that, and then all of a sudden you're into something that you didn't think you would be into, and you're trying to get out of it, and it's probably harder to do.
Right.
So you want to always try to focus on those 2 questions I gave. I mean, I'm sure other people have more that could add on to that, but those 2 came to my mind. So.
Oh yeah. Dang, we've been on here for 2 hours and 54 minutes. This is probably the longest I've been on in a while. I mean, in a while. What's crazy about this, watching this time, when I'm watching Necro's been gone for about 2 weeks. It's some change. and I'm watching them up there for 11 hours, George. When I'm looking at that, I'm like, man, 11 hours? Like, for me, when I'm watching, since I do the news, it's hard for me to go through 11 hours of content every day on a channel. That's hard. That's hard to do. But 11 hours? Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Do you think those are entirely too long?
Well, I mean, it depends on the show. I mean, it's how you want to present your show. You know, everybody got their day. Some people do short clips. Some people do like long, stretched out shows. Some people do. It's just like the gig work. You know, some people do a few hours of work. Some people do 10 hours of work. Some people do 15, 16 hours of work. It depends on how that person is. You know, you just have to have yourself a checks and balance. You know, like you got to checks and balance your work life and then your personal life. You know. Make sure you can check and balance on that, have time for your work life and also have time for your personal life. Because if you have one overpower the other, you're gonna have problems, you know.
Oh yeah.
So you want to do that. So as long as you can do your own in your own self, because everybody's individual, and you can do your own self and checks and balances on that, then you're good, because nobody can say anything, Nobody can say, "Oh, you're working too many hours, you're doing this and that." Nobody can say anything because you know what you could do and you know how to handle yourself. So, and that's another thing, people instead of worried about what the next person, unless it's worried about the safety and stuff or something really like that, don't worry about what's in their people's pockets, because if you worry about what's in the person's pockets, ask them how you got it, so I could try to get it. How'd you do that? That's intriguing me. Instead of just trying to degrade them and saying this and that and oh, he's not this and that or whatever. Instead of doing that, ask the person or he or she. Ask that person, how'd you do that? How can I do that? Is there any way I could do that in my market? What can you do that I could do different? They'll probably ask you, what are you doing now? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then you have a little conversation. Then he or she could probably give you insights of what they do. And maybe you could use that into your market, But you have to be honest with the person too that you're asking, if you want information. Don't just half-ass the problem and then keep the rest. Do be honest with that person so then they can actually help you the best way they can, the person can. So some people might ask a question just to get some information for whatever reason, whatever. But if you really want help and want to know what that person's about, come correct to that person with respect and everything and ask them. I'm sure 9 out of 10, more almost a 10, like a 9.9%, they'll willing to help you. You're gonna get those few that just don't want to really help, but I'm sure the other people you come to and ask you, they'll try to help you out. And it makes them feel good too because somebody came to them somebody came to me to ask me a question of how I can help them maybe better themselves. That make you as an individual feel, wow, somebody actually put the time and effort to come to me to help, to ask me for help.
How many do you guys have it written down and planned out for how many series you guys are gonna do? Oh wow, hold on.
We doing stuff. We communicating and everything like that. We have a system that we do, and it's working for us on how we do our shows and things like that. Yeah, we have a system that's working for us that we're doing for shows and things like that.
Do you know how many you know how many like how many episodes are you guys gonna do on the safety? How long have you thought about how many episodes?
Well, to be honest with you, it's not what we really do. Is what God puts on our heads to talk about, puts in our lap to talk about, At that time, we count on the man above. I do believe in God or not, and we let Him direct us which way to go, because when we let Him direct us, it's more smoother, And I feel that with Him in our life and doing that, the show will be good, and it'll go in a good, blessed direction, and come out and hopefully get the community to come and watch the show as well, and comment, leave comments and stuff like that, and build the brand up that way. So what else?
See, that's good. And I'm glad y'all paired up, because somebody that's looking at the stuff be like, oh, those my OGs right there. Those my two OGs right there. So, I'm glad that's there. I'm gonna have to park in the sun. I don't want to. Car, what are you gonna do? I'm glad you guys are paired up, because it's a lot of sensible and realistic information that's coming from the both of you guys. You know what I mean? Because we want to have realistic information to have somebody think, and feel they can actually do with whatever it is. You know what I mean? So you guys are putting out a lot of realistic, and sensible information that a lot of people should be listening, that they don't get every day. So I like it for that, me myself.
Thank you.
I like
representing. Yeah, but everybody could do the same thing. Put out good information. It's not just us. We can't do it all. We need your guys' help. There's a lot of content out there. There's a lot of content out there. That we could do.
Well, yeah.
You could just think about stuff. Think about stuff. That's going on around your area, or think about stuff. You the news, and you can see stuff like I did a news clip. Those are news clips. Some of the stuff there too. On DVAD video and on your video, those from the news. There's some research and stuff from the news and things like that. Did stuff for real time events that happen too to help out. Sometimes a video or something like that could help a long way, and to discuss about it versus always talking. And then you get other people involved and stuff too.
You went to the scene. You went to the scene of a terrible incident there.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize, and I was like, yeah, man, that delivery driver went there and ended up having something bad happen. A lot of people don't realize that can happen at any time. At any time. Like you said, they see a delivery driver in a nice car. He must got something. Let's go follow him. So, I like to look at the news for those. I know when I very first started doing this chat channel, a lot of my content was coming out about the delivery drivers getting robbed and, getting carjacked and all that other stuff. And yeah, people, that stuff is real. And you got to give credit to people that's putting the information out there to make sure you don't forget. So when you dealing with the Rev and George Hulk Smash, that's what you go get, people. They go talk about that stuff. They go talk about it. And just make sure you pay attention, because it could help you. It could help you out a whole lot. So pay attention to it. Real good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, shoot.
Well, I'm going to want to get off the stream here. I'm getting tired and it's getting late.
Yes, sir.
I didn't expect to be on this long.
Yes, sir.
But it's good to talk.
Me either.
And everything.
We just doing orders. Normally I would have been on and off, but while doing these deliveries, it's keeping me. I haven't I look at it, I'm like, dang, it's 3 hours right now. I just said it was 2 hours and 30 minutes, and it seemed like that was like 5 minutes ago. The time's just flying right now. It's just flying. Well, get your rest, man. Get your rest.
Yeah, I gotta spend time with my wife tomorrow, man. You know, hang out with her and do stuff with her and stuff like that. You know, your wrestling comes on today, so today Saturday, your
Yeah,
wrestling
we
comes
got
on today.
the
So
yeah, we got that going on, and yeah, man. Do what you gotta do, get yours in, and then until next time. I'm in a bad area, so it may have broken up.
no, I heard you all the way.
All right, yep. I'm gonna stay on for a little bit longer before I
Okay.
probably after this delivery or something, and then head on off. But I will be back in tune with you, brother.
All right, bro. You have a good one, man. Thanks for having me on board, man. Thanks for having me on the
No
chat
problem, man.
on the screen there. I appreciate it. Back
Yes,
to you.
sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
That salute, people. Get that salute. I wonder how many times, he saluted. When you practice, when you get into the military, you go into the mirror. I remember one of my cousins, he was in the mirror just practicing. He was so happy. He was so happy. And he's still alive too. And he's done a few tours. So, he's alive. He's been to some of the most dangerous places on the face of the earth. Sharpshooter, sniper, and everything. And he's alive. So can't get mad at that. They gave you an add-on? No? All right. So that means after this order, take a break. There's no add-in. Came home. See what street is that? Oh, I gotta go to Paris. Ooh. Dang. Gotta go to Paris. A lot of you guys don't live in Reno Valley, but going down to Paris can lead you, as long as we can get on back. And if we're going right there, if it was an add-on, and if I saw that screen right, it's probably an add-on for Little Caesars if we're going to Paris. But we'll see. But folks, yeah, you know what? Oh, I gotta get off here. 3 hours. I had how many hours on StreamYard that I have? It said 13. Okay, so I'm down to 10 hours and 30 minutes of time on StreamYard. So with that said, people, I'm out of here like Chuck Woolery in 2 and 2. Thank you for tuning in, George. I gotta go ahead and fix my hours.